minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good evening, everybody. OSB here, circling back around as you guys saw the title. It is a Clowns on Parade Girl World Review. Things have been a little busy for me the last couple of days, and it's still not over, but, I'm here with you guys tonight. I have nothing but free time on my hands, so let's get into it. I'm going to kind of touch base on a little bit of everybody. I'm sorry that I had to schedule at this time of night. Mainly because I had stuff that I had to work on prior to actually sitting down and having a little bit of fun. So here's where I figure we would kick things off. If you guys are interested, we're going to start with something a little on the lighthearted end. I was going to touch base on the return of the Baxter, who, you guys know I've had quite a bit to say about Becky with all of the stuff that she's been through, and especially with the last video where she was rather down in the dumps. But, I wanted to kind of circle around on this. Just real quick. Logan, I have figured out that I like Logan. Logan is a very funny guy. He's very lighthearted. He seems to be very good for Becky. He kind of supports her and helps uplift her, and she really needs that right now.
Honestly, I don't really care because I work, I'm paying my bills. I'm not on here just solely to make money. I'm just on here to have fun. And you guys have wanted me to come back, and I came back and brought a friend.
Beck's sister's name is Misty.
What's the lie that your ex told your family that they found out about?
What was the lie that your ex told your family that they found out about? That she had a child and that he had passed away, and that was not true.
Any advice for people who may currently be in a toxic relationship? I know you mentioned reaction channels helped you identify issues you might have overlooked. Did any red flags seem obvious?
Hi there, Grateful. Yeah, there's nothing about him thus far that presents any red flags.
After the fact, after I sat and
Oops.
watched.
Why didn't y'all tell me the volume was down? Sorry, y'all.
Myself completely shut down, disassociate, and I was so detached from the YouTube world. I didn't read comments. I didn't watch reaction channels. I was just in the videos from time to time.
She says, do you miss anything at all about Amber?
The time before of her.
It just says, do you miss anything about her?
I miss Twinkie Wasabi and Rarity.
What does that say? I mean, God's honest truth. I say this as somebody who's been in the sort of scenario that Becky has escaped from, and looking back, I mean, most of us out there, we can find some sort of positive thing about our exes. Even the most toxic of people have some little glimmer of something about them that's a good thing, they're funny or they're intelligent or something along those lines. But what does it say about the whole situation and about Amber when the only thing from that era that Becky misses are the animals, which I can wholeheartedly relate to.
How do you still talk to Eric and Ricky? How are they? Why did he stop his YouTube channel? Yes, I still talk to Eric and Ricky. Logan's really good friends with them too. How are they? They're good. And why did they stop YouTube? It was just a lot that Eric didn't want to deal with anymore. Like, he tried it for a while and then was just like, I'll just go back to regular work. And that's just what he did. So he deleted everything.
It was a lot to have to deal with. I assume that would have a lot to do with the questions about ALR and what can you tell us and give us the tea and all that stuff. I mean, not trying to be funny, but I mean, realistically, if they would just go ahead and out it all and say, okay, I've said my piece. I've told you what I know. I've given my insight. Now I'm moving on to other things. If you want to stick around, cool. If not, cool. Appreciate y'all, whatever. But so long as they kind of do this sidestepping, skirting the elephant in the room sort of thing, it's going to continue, that's just the way that it is. Until people actually get the information that they're seeking, they're going to continue to kind of scratch until eventually they get it. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He was probably the best character out of that whole group to me. I mean, I like Becky, but Ricky just didn't care. Ricky was Ricky. And that's part of what I liked about him.
After leaving your last relationship, do you have any advice for anyone who might have a partner with similar traits as your ex?
Be honest with them. Sit down with them. Calmly tell them how you feel. And then if they don't want to respect you and what you said and try to step back and look at their actions, then that's a lost cause and you just need to leave.
I agree with the last part. With somebody like Amber and with Foodie and the sorts of characteristics that they exhibit. We covered this in the last live where I played the narcissistic behaviors that these people exhibit. And a common trait with these people is that they take what you use and then they flip it on its head to basically turn your perspective to theirs. That is their entire goal. They want you malleable. They want you agreeable. And if you're telling them, I feel a kind of way, and here's why I feel a kind of way, ultimately, number one, it's not going to change anything. If anything, they'll respond negatively and they'll attack you and make themselves the victim in the situation. Well, how dare you tell me that? How dare you do this? But I've done this, this, and this for you. And you're being disrespectful and you're ungrateful, to end up forcing you to concede. So that whole thing about sitting down and talking to them and trying to get them to reevaluate themselves is never going to happen. The last part, I wholeheartedly agree with, because I started to say it as soon as the question was asked. The answer is run far and fast.
I would agree with that.
Because you can't change people if they don't want to change.
So are you taking any questions about past relationships?
It depends.
Because I'm getting a bunch.
It depends.
We're trying to be respectful.
Yeah.
How did your relationship with ALR impact you? If you could do something differently.
Welcome, SCL. Good to see you.
Well, Becky.
What I would do differently is not even get in a relationship, because at the time, I didn't need to be in a relationship. I didn't need to be with someone, and I'm still at that point. I don't need to be with anybody right now. I wasn't ready for a relationship, and I just wish I would have been stronger in saying no, but I was afraid of what I would be losing.
That comes in with the beginning phases of, narcissists and how they manipulate people. They show you all the great and wonderful things that they're going to bring to your life. They use your weaknesses to their advantage. which is ALR's strong suit. She poses herself as this great, caring, wonderful person who's misunderstood and needs to be protected because she's bullied because she's a fat girl, and that people online just don't understand her. And nobody understands me like you do. I've never met anybody like you, which I'm sure she tells every single girl that she gets involved with. But, Becky, despite her thoughts about not needing to be in a relationship at that point, it was bound to happen anyway, just because that's part of the game. That's part of the game with narcissistic people like this. Now, as to her being by herself now, I don't think it's a bad thing. Hell, I'm by myself right now on purpose, intentionally, wholeheartedly for the prospect of, reconnecting with the things that I love, trying new things, bettering myself in any way I could possibly work out, mentally, physically, educationally, you name it, I'm doing it. Because I've always been a firm believer that if you are in a good place, that makes you more equipped for bringing someone into your orbit. Whereas if things are in disarray, you're not mentally where you should be, you're not stable as a person, bringing that other person in is just going to simply add to the chaos that's already there.
Because I cared. And I wanted to see where it would go.
Side note on that. You can care and not end up in a relationship with somebody. That's what friendships are for. You can have a friendship with somebody long term and eventually develop it into something with a little bit more substance. But you don't have to dive headlong into a relationship simply because you're curious to see what might happen.
But I was given a time limit.
And that's the way that it should be. And I applaud you for that. There is a lot of secondary baggage that comes with dealing with narcissistic abuse. And actually, SCL, if you get a moment, if you look at the community tab, I posted a video by a gentleman of the name Richard Grannon. That is his specialty. And he teaches classes on how to overcome narcissistic abuse and complex PTSD. He's very knowledgeable. He's very entertaining. The videos are very condensed and provide a lot of information in a short time frame to make it a little bit easier to consume. So if you get a rare off moment, take a minute to look through that. You know what I'm saying? You may find something that may benefit you. Right. And that's a conversation that I've had pretty frequently with a couple of people. I had that conversation numerous times with my dad before he got remarried. Because, those of y'all that probably may not be familiar, my mom died, holy moly, almost 2 years ago. And a year after my mom died, my dad was already engaged to be married to somebody else after he had only dated them for about 3 months. And I kept telling him, look, you can be by yourself. It is entirely possible. He's like, I don't know how you do it. I just can't do it. And I told him being alone, being comfortable alone is not a damn superpower. It's a trait, a skill that you have to learn to develop. This is something that you don't just get overnight. You don't wake up and in the blink of an eye, you're completely comfortable with being alone. It just doesn't work that way. But there's nothing bad about being by yourself. Being comfortable with your own company is actually a good thing, because if you're comfortable with your own company, it makes it more likely that other people will be comfortable in your company. Well, then I'm glad that I brought it up, because, he does like in-person educational classes like all over the world, but he does multiple videos each week. He has like groups that you can join in, like 30-day programs that you can join up in. He's a very, very knowledgeable guy. Very knowledgeable. The other thing, while I got this pause, she said, hang on real quick, that she was given,
Limit
oh,
what I would be losing because I cared
and then,
and I wanted to see where it would go.
right, but
I was given a time limit.
given a time limit. If somebody genuinely cares about you and they claim that they have feelings for you, they will be there. There will be no time limit. There will be no, you're going to be with me before this time frame or I am out. That is another thing that leads me to believe that Amber is a manipulative, narcissistic feck. Okay. So that right there jumped out at me when I first listened to it. Oh, hey, no problem. Like I told you guys, I found Richard by accident through that channel of the gentleman that I watch, Pierre. The two of them somehow matched up, and they were friends for a good while, some years, and they would do videos together, and that's how I found Richard. But once I found his channel, I went like on a rabbit hole and watched like all kind of stuff that he had on there. But he's a very, very smart guy, and he presents it in such a way to make it easy to understand, and I really like that.
If things don't work out with your ex taking 3 pets to a new home, would you take Twink? I think we would all love this, but can also understand if your situation doesn't allow for that.
I would absolutely love to take all of them if she couldn't keep them, but I know that would never happen.
And so I saw something about my fiance, and I think the question said something along the lines of like, what was your reaction when Logan brought home Becky? I think she was shell shocked, to say the least. Like, because when I told her that we had worked together, because let me fill you in on a little backstory of this.
Okay, no offense.
She would watch who this person is, and
We would, if I could make the money to support myself. But it's hard to do that anymore, even with a regular job.
Okay, talking about, would she come on YouTube to utilize that as her main source of income? And she said, well, sure, if I could do that to maintain my bills and to take care of myself. Becky made $5,000 off of one stream. Becky has a built-in fan base that has already been dedicated this entire time that she has been out here struggling. And I mean, initially, of course, the monetary gain of this is going to be substantial, especially if she starts to delve into giving the details, spilling the tea, as it were. Eventually, it will die off. She will not make massive amounts of money long term, but it will be enough that if she is consistent and if she's thorough and if she puts out decent content, that it'll be enough to kind of bridge the gap between what her regular job is providing for her and something that will put her at a level where she can live comfortably without struggling. So she seriously needs to consider it.
What advice would you give to someone who feels lost and feels no sense of direction? Take it one day at a time. Don't try to push yourself for any kind of future in that moment. You need to focus on being in the moment and staying alive for the next day. And you will eventually find your sense of direction and sense of purpose. I still really don't know mine, to be exact. I've not been in a very good headspace either lately, but I'm trying. I keep trying to push through, and then I've got Logan and my sister to make sure I'm not isolating myself, and
They keep her in check.
we don't do that around here.
I do disassociate a lot when I'm with them, and they'll have to repeat themselves. But
If you're not disassociating at least once a day, though, or even living,
Yeah.
I disassociate all the time.
that's true. It was Cocoa Puffs. Okay, thank you, cereal.
What does that say when like the audience can remember even the smallest details? I mean, I'll rephrase. The ones that care can remember the smallest details. I mean, I watched a lot of that era and I didn't give two craps about the cereal. I could never have answered that question. That's dedication.
She's been through enough with that. Thank you, Quirky. I really have. I'm over it.
Have you considered college, maybe community college?
Yes, I have signed up for community college before, but whenever I went in there and I needed help to set things up, everyone kept ignoring me. And Eric was sitting right beside me, and there was someone there helping him. And whenever they walked away, I like tried to wave them down to come help me, and I just got ignored. So I got up and walked out. Yeah, somebody asked earlier what I'd like in my PO box.
So she met a little bit of resistance and gave up. I don't know about you all out there, but I mean, I speak to this from a particular perspective. I was raised by a pair of teenage parents who had me and two other children that weren't theirs. And I watched them push through all of that to become successful career attaining entities. I mean, long-standing careers in their fields, you know, and the mindset that they laid in me, that I lay upon other people, is how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? If you want something bad enough, you'll do anything that it takes to get you there. That includes pushing back against the resistance. And Becky, as much as I like Becky, Becky seems to be the type that she lets any little bit of pushback discourage her. Pushback is a natural part of progression. It's a natural part of the human evolution process as individuals. And that is probably why Becky feels stagnant. That's probably why she feels lost. Because she takes that resistance as, well, I guess that's not meant for me. Let's see what this says here. Yes, it absolutely is. SCL's got that big brain energy going on tonight. I love that.
Just surprise me.
I wouldn't say that. You know what you're gonna get.
That's true. I'm just saying, like, things that you like, things that you think I'd like, whatever. I mean, Logan, I've received poop in the mail and a dead tarantula. Like,
by the way, her talking about receiving poop in the mail. For those of y'all out there, if you want to play that game with somebody, there is a website, okay, that you can go to that will anonymously send 5 pounds of elephant poop, of cow poop, of a mixture in a box, sealed, labeled, no return info, and it actually gives a card in there that says someone apparently doesn't like you and they don't reveal your details. So, just a thought. I'm really kind of hoping that eventually I see somebody deliver poop to Amber, but that's just me.
They can't send me anything else.
No. It could be a live one next time.
Yeah, but then at least you can turn it loose or turn it into someone who can take care
Where
of
would you
it.
turn it loose at? My ear?
It didn't deserve that to begin with. It didn't deserve to be shipped in a box just to scare somebody.
I will take it and love it and kiss it and it would be my baby.
You're telling me,
Although
as
I
somebody
hate
else who is
spiders,
afraid of spiders, you want a big,
I wouldn't.
giant.
What would you
I'd
do?
burn the box.
Yes.
I'd burn the box.
Yes.
But I know
Throw it away.
Beck would take it as a pet.
Yes, I would.
I would burn the box. with the thing in it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even open it. I'd
No.
rattle it around and be like, that sounds like a tarantula.
Becky, I'm just so freaking happy for you and can't wait to see your glow up. So excited you're finally seeing your worth. My question, did you realize while you were in your relationship that it was as toxic as it was? Or was it only after leaving you began to realize just how bad it was? So before or after?
During, I could see some things. I knew that there was problems. But I really seen whenever I left the situation.
That's not uncommon for that particular type of relationship or the particular type of person they're involved with. You'll see things that make you question what is going on, but then you're gaslit into believing that what you're seeing is incorrect. So, I mean, you have those moments of clarity, but they don't last long. And her saying that she didn't see any of that until after the fact, that goes back to that conversation where I said, you can't see the forest for the trees. You know what I'm saying? You have to take a step back. It takes time. It takes distance. It takes separation to actually be able to get a clear view of the circumstances and that person specifically. Otherwise, you have this tendency to carry around that facade that they've given you. Which you have to break through.
Do you regret leaving Twinkie? Why or why not?
I miss Twinkie, I do, but I had no grounds to take
Apricots.
Oh, God.
Let's see.
Do you ever get recognized in public?
Uh,
I hope this isn't a rude question, but please can you tell us what actually happened with the cereal incident?
oh, who cares about the cereal?
Cereal. It was not cereal.
What? Why did it matter?
Okay, I'm going to call that the end of the Becky section here because most of it from there is just random chit chat. So let's see. Nope. All right, let's talk about the star of Girl World.
I want to live a long time to make people mad. I'm just kidding.
In the
Oh.
YouTube algorithm.
Shout out to Just Saying. She is out here doing the Lord's work, sorting through the and the idle and the chewing to make this psychopath's content a little bit more palatable.
The people are represented by three separate yet equally important groups. The one that creates, the one that views, and the one that just can't help but react. Under Title 17, I am a member of an elite squad, also known as the Special Viewers Unit. These are the stories.
I'm going to apologize for the
Alright,
sound, y'all.
Starting off by showing you that I made breakfast for myself. Yay, more adulting. And yes,
That right there says it all. As a full-grown, fully functioning adult, you should be cooking breakfast for yourself unless you have other stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I say this as a Gen Xer. I was doing all of this crap for myself by the time I was 12. Okay? Washing my own laundry, cooking for myself, doing all of that. And here we are with a fully grown adult acting like she's doing something. It's very hard to comprehend for me.
we're showing it off because I have a hard time doing
Welcome,
it.
Tangle. Good to see you.
So I have some air fried potatoes, bit of salt and pepper, olive oil, and some eggs with a bit of cheese mixed in, mushrooms. And yeah, the potatoes were very fluffy. She kept trying to steal my pita bread, as you can see. Yep.
Number one, right off the bat, this meal was not terrible. Okay, it wasn't terrible. But as somebody who's actively making efforts to lose weight, to be healthier, I, specifically me, knowing what I know about how my body responds to carbohydrates, I would not be doubling them. It would be one thing that if you have carbs with your meal, that's one thing. But I would not be having no pita bread and no potatoes. If you want to have the pita bread, cool. Leave the potatoes out. Have your eggs, your mushrooms, your veg, all that stuff. Get rid of the potatoes. Okay? Or if you're going to have the potatoes, make it a whole like burrito bowl sort of situation. Get rid of the pita bread. She is effectively kind of working against herself with the way this meal is laid out. She's got she's definitely got more carbohydrate total than she does protein or anything else in this entire meal. Secondarily, I paused it there to discuss this whole situation with Julia chewing on the pita bread. Okay. Y'all have seen this. I have 2 cats. Y'all have seen little mama very frequently. She's always in here going back and forth in front of me. She's a very sweet girl. Boo Man, Jinx, that you guys have seen one time, my little black fluffy shadow, my little lover boy, he is very, very food driven. He is my problem child when it comes to eating. He will literally get right up in my face and be trying to stick his face in my plate. And it took a long time to unprogram him from doing that. She is encouraging this behavior. She is rewarding this behavior. She's got to stop feeding the cat off the plate. If she's going to do anything, if she's going to share people food with this cat, it needs to be in the same bowl that she eats her cat food from. Otherwise, it's going to continue to be an issue. And we know that Foodie has food aggression. We've already seen her be food aggressive with the cat. So this is not going to play out well.
Also made homemade lemonade with honey and lemon.
Right.
So I really, really need to get some things. So I'm gonna.
Side note, and this is really the only positive thing that I think that I'm going to have to contribute to all of this. And I've said this about Foodie before. I don't like Foodie as a person, but I've got to give her credit, on the eye makeup skills here. Seeing as I am not a girly type of girl, and I have not done makeup, like truly done makeup with any sort of level of expertise in probably 20 years on myself, I got to give her props for that because I can't do that. The other thing, I do like that lip color. I don't know what it is, but it suits it. But that's the only real positive thing I'm probably going to have to say about all this.
To take you guys shopping. We're not going to be doing anything too exciting. Just going to go to a market and get some new hijabs. I'm going to try to get some that are like lighter colors, different colors instead of just black, especially for the summer. So,
Lord, look at them teeth.
Who knows what we'll get up to. But come with me anyways. Going to a market here to look.
Y'all look at this. Oh, I love just saying.
For some clothes and stuff. Or hijabs and clothes. Who knows?
Or hijabs and clothes. I do believe that a hijab is clothing, right? Hey, sunshine. How are you today, love?
Hi, guys.
Just saying is petty.
Find something nice for Howie.
A nice suit.
So cute, right?
Who wants to tell him? Because I'm pretty sure Foodie hasn't told him.
Yes.
Hey, that's what counts. You're here. You're still here.
For the spare room. It's for the Quran.
Yes, the Quran holder.
Look at the cage.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's a little gaudy.
I think we have enough pets right now.
Wow. No shit.
This makes me want to travel. How about you, hon?
Yeah, exactly. The same feeling. Giving you the traveling vibes.
Said by a man whose passport limits him to like 5 countries.
Oh. I really like this lemon tree. I might want it. And down the stairs. Coming up was not fun.
So you notice it goes from right there to him filming her. That tells you there's a problem with 1, her center of gravity, and 2, just general ambulation on her part. She could not have filmed and walked down the stairs if she wanted to. Petty, the step sounds, that's awesome.
Yeah, look, let's go.
Just saying it's petty and I love it.
Okay, so I'm gonna get 5 hijabs and I'm getting this color. These are already put together, like.
So she's focused on hijabs, but which is fine. Do you buy whatever you want to buy? But what I'm curious about is why she didn't look at some abayas too. Because, I mean, we've seen that most of her abayas are too small for her, you know?
So all I'll have to do is just wrap it.
Hi, babe.
Does it look weird?
That hat doesn't fit her on her head. What does that tell you about how much weight she's gained?
Like a fisherwoman?
Let's go fishing. Ooh. I'm waiting in the car, so I'll have to run in and get something, but you got me some ice water. You really need it when you live here. So, yeah. I had to go up and down a lot of stairs at that store and walking around, and I'm getting more used to it, actually, which is good. I'm trying to, like, push myself, you know, to build my stamina. I have to do it, so.
I don't believe for 1 second that she walked up a flight of stairs. And I'll tell you why. Because knowing what we know about Foodie, if she had walked up any flights of stairs, she would have made sure that it was videoed to show that she did it and that she can do it, because she likes to project that she is able to do more than she actually is. Her being videoed going down the stairs is probably the extent of traversing on her part. I can almost guarantee you she went up, but it was by elevator.
So far today, all I had to eat was some watermelon and the meal I filmed for you, my breakfast. And that's why I don't love eggs, but I'm trying to, like, incorporate them because they keep me full for a long, long, long time. And
that's what protein does for you. Welcome to Nutrition 101, Foodie.
And I'm still not hungry, and it's like 8:30 p.m. and I ate that at like maybe 2. So,
I don't believe that.
Breakfast or brunch, whatever you want to call it.
For somebody who has disordered eating, or in her particular case, I don't really think that she has. I would say that if I had to really sum it up, I don't think realistically that Foodie could say that she has just BED. I think she's a compulsive eater too. That she has such a fixation on food that everything that she's consistently thinking about. I mean, we've seen whole videos of hers where she's eating one thing and thinking about the next thing, or discussing other foods. She has a compulsive mindset. So I don't believe that. There's no way she went that long without eating something, or at the bare minimum drinking her calories in some way, fashion, or form.
So when I get home, I'm going to show you guys my haul. Try on my different hijab.
I'm sorry, the moon is just taking me out. I
Before I get to my hijab
love
haul,
just saying.
I want to show you the carpet we picked up. Here it is. It's nice and gray. It matches the curtains and the sofa. We really like it. Okay, so this here is
like any other addict.
I usually wear. They cover the neck and everything, okay? Now,
they cover the neck and everything. We kind of already knew that, you know. That's their primary function.
You know that, like, you guys always see me struggling adjusting them and everything, because these are the chiffon, and well, they are nice and the material is pretty light. You see here, I have to pin it for it to stay. So like I pin it like that while it's on, and then I like wrap it myself. You know, it's just a piece of fabric. You have to make your own hijab. And when you don't feel like pinning it, and sometimes like it's really hot, so if I don't have to wear this under cap and I can just find like an all-in-one, that's what I'm.
Now, I'm not trying to discount the prospect of making things simpler, especially when something is new to you, at least until you get more in the routine of, you know, whatever task you're taking on. But this lady, she's been at this over a year now. And, you know, we've established she doesn't do fuck all day long. So she has nothing but free time to watch tutorials to figure out how to do this stuff. You know, the other thing too, I mean, if she's always claimed to be some sort of fashionista personality type. I don't know about you all, but if there was something that I wanted to know how to do, because it was something that I was passionate about, being fashionable, I would learn how to do it. And, you know, it isn't like there aren't opportunities. She just doesn't take them. It's like everything else. She prefers the path of least resistance.
I was looking for. So I did get some hijabs that are like that. So as you can see here, it's already stitched here. I just put my head through, and then I really want to get some of these because like I think it'll help me be a lot cooler, and they're lighter colors too. All right, so I have this one here. Now this one, you can tuck this little piece in if you want. A lot of people do. But then you can do different styles. One of my favorites is just to kind of just wrap it around.
One of her favorites. I think she should have just said, the way that I know how to do it is to just wrap it around. We have never seen her with any other setup than that.
Very simple. Wow, I really like this one. So this one I have, you know, I tried to get one that will match with a lot of things that I wear. Now, you know, you're gonna see some new outfits on me because I did get a shipment of clothes. So like feels.
I'll be curious to see if any of them actually fit like they're supposed to.
So nice, like it's nice and light. There's no undercap I have to worry about, like double layers on my head. The only thing I'm worried about is sweat stain, but we'll find out about that. Actually, I might have to wear like a light undercap if there is like sweat stains, but we'll see. So this is number one. This is a light pinky color.
A light pinky color. Y'all, this is supposed to be somebody who went to university to get their degree in English. I believe the terms that you're looking for, ma'am, is pastel pink. And all I've got is a vocational college education, if you want to be specific about it. And by her standards, I would be an ignorant redneck. What does that say about her when this ignorant redneck has a more broad vocabulary than her?
Just take it because I don't have to worry about pinning it or anything whenever they're already made. I love that.
Secondarily, I know I said that the makeup comment was probably going to be the only good thing that I had to say. I changed my mind. 2. These colors are more appropriate for her than the blacks and the other stuff that she's been picking. Okay. Number 1, the fairer colors are better suited to her skin type, to her tone. She is not a yellow-based person. She is more of a pink-based. We've seen her without filters. She is red all through here. So this is more suitable to her than the black. So this was a better choice on her part. I will give her that.
So I always lose the pins anyway. It's like an instant hijab. Yeah, I love it. I don't even have an under cap, so like whenever I go out and I'm walking around, then I can just like it'll just be so much cooler. You know, I don't have to worry about that.
Side note, let me back up here. Hang on, let me see if I can get it timed just
like,
right.
It'll just be so much cooler.
Okay, see right here. Oh, sorry. I'm pointing at the monitor. My bad, y'all. Y'all see right here along the edge of this hijab? This one, she's currently saying that she is not wearing the cap under this thing. If her hair is growing back in the way she claims that it has, that it is thicker than before, would we not be seeing some sort of texture to this hijab where her hair is up against the fabric? I mean, she's freely admitted she's not wearing an undercap. I mean, if you'll look at my hair right now, it's pulled back. But I imagine that if I sat a piece of very loose fabric on my head, you would still be able to see some ridges and stuff. On her, there's absolutely nothing. I think she might be overselling the hair regrowth, and the fact that these vitamins that she's been taking has done such miraculous wonders for her, and that rose oil is a godsend from the heavens for hair regrowth. I mean, you know, just saying.
You know, I don't have to worry about that. And it's full coverage. You can't see any hair. You can't see anything.
Here's the other thing, real quick. Sorry, had this just jump into my head here. Another thing about the hair, okay? If her hair were growing back with any sort of substance to it, would she not have to like pull it back in some kind of shape, form, or fashion so that she has some sort of bump that is noticeable? And I can almost guarantee that her hair is not as long as mine, you know, not by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, if anything, I think what little bit of hair she's got, she's rocking a friar tuck, as it were. She might be a little full around the outside and through the back, but up top she's probably very sparse, like she was when she first shaved her head.
All right, so here is another color.
See right here, right there. There's a little bump there, but that's it. Everything else is pretty much smooth. Here's the ridge where her ear is. Telling you, I don't think that hair is growing back as pronounced as she says.
You can just like wrap it like this and wear it like this. Yeah. This is the other one. All right, guys, here is, the last one I'm going to show you because I did also get a black one, but you've seen me in a black hijab, so these are summer colors.
Yep.
And they're like nice and light. The tag is showing, but so yeah, you can style it. I'm going to style them different ways, but just to show you, what color is this? You have to tell me in the comments below. Like,
that would be gray,
or is it off-white? Is it beige? I'm not even sure what color it is. But I like the pink and blue one. I like those for sure. So Celeste said he likes the blue one the most.
If I had to pick out of the ones that she picked, I would probably say the blue one too. The pink one's kind of nice too, but you know, I'm more partial to blue myself.
Honestly, yeah, the blue one is my favorite.
Thanks, babe.
All right, I'm going to bypass the whole eating thing for the most part because it's been mostly bullshit. X'd it out.
The fun is like creamy. Two colors. In case you're wondering. I love veggies. I went hijab shopping today. The pieces I give her don't have any sauce.
See, this is the end result of her feeding the cat, and she does it again during this video.
Great.
Right there.
So I'm not used to like taking stairs. The building was like 3 floors.
You're trying to tell me, she's trying to tell us that she climbed 3 flights of stairs. Can't walk 10 minutes on a flat surface without having chest pain and feeling like she wants to puke up her toenails. But she climbed 3 flights of stairs with no break, no sit down. There is no way in hell.
So the men's clothing and home things were upstairs. There was like a bunch of stuff on the main level we didn't really need. Then the women's things, like cosmetics and hijabs and stuff like that, were on the bottom level. When I did it, but by the time I got to the top, I was like, and then I had to walk around the store, and I couldn't sit. Hey, no.
And that would be why I don't believe a word of it.
You have no manners. No.
Side note, not an animal not having some sort of manners is secondary to your teaching. They are just like children. They do what you allow them to do. And for people that say that cats can't be taught, it's absolutely untrue.
I know you're probably thinking, what the heck?
Exactly.
I'm not in the best shape. I am working on it. That's why I'm trying to eat healthier. Well,
why I'm trying to eat healthier. This is the first healthy meal of anything resembling a healthy meal we have seen her have in quite some time.
I don't want that there. Yeah, I just have to keep at it.
Why did she leave that in?
Because I don't like feeling like I can't do things. I hate that feeling. And I don't like feeling unwell and so focused on, oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time.
She doesn't like that feeling, but she's been living in that state for at least 2 years now. She doesn't like not being able to do things, but she's been doing that for several years now. No, what it is that all of this is gotten scary for her now. The not being able to breathe, the feeling like she wants to faint or throw up, that is scaring her. That's all this is. If it weren't for something that producing that sort of uncomfortable fear in her, we wouldn't have any of this. We wouldn't have this healthy meal with this big salad. It would be another plate full of rice for 4 people. This is a fear response. This is a foxhole prayer is what this is. Until this becomes the daily, until this becomes the norm, don't trust it. Don't trust it.
Breathing, blah, blah, blah.
Breathing, blah, blah, blah.
See how nonchalantly she handled that?
I really don't like that. I don't really like iceberg lettuce anymore. It's just so flavorless.
As somebody who really rather enjoys salads, I can tell you the flavor of lettuce, iceberg lettuce, is pretty kind of neutral. But your salad is the flavor of your salad is going to depend upon what you put in it. Iceberg lettuce by itself is not meant to have flavor. It's mostly water.
Shrimp sauce is good. But yeah, I have some really nice, huge, juicy mangoes. Can't have one. I didn't really have to force myself to order healthy food tonight. I was literally just craving. In the car, I'm thinking of what time for dinner. And I was I'm craving chicken and broccoli. So I was there you go.
Thank you, Rudy.
Order it. Because of my health, I just get tired very easily if I do too much. So
because of her health. So she's saying that that's a new thing. That's another thing that's been ongoing. It's just progressed.
I'm at my limit for today. Otherwise, yeah, this is something I could easily cook. Chicken and vegetables, but
we know that one don't cook.
There's no easily when you feel like I do sometimes.
Sometimes.
Even at the store, I was hitting my limit because we were walking around for quite some time. I'm getting some things for the apartment. Got a rug and some other things. All those stairs without sitting.
The lies.
Normally I take a sit break in between or something. I was nowhere to sit. At the cash, I started feeling a little bit like I was gonna be sick.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even really hot. I wasn't sweaty.
That would be your blood pressure, ma'am.
So I just felt ill. maybe I overexerted myself. I did do a lot today. I did a lot of physical housework, like cleaned out all our closets.
Which I'm pretty sure she probably did sitting down after Sala removed everything from the closets and the dressers for her.
Reorganized it. My bias. I organized my dresser, and then his clothes needed it bad. So I reorganized that closet. They had French onion soup at this restaurant, and I was like, the sodium, I really have to watch it. I don't want to die. I really, really don't want to die young. This carrot's stubborn. I want to live a long time to make people mad.
No, I'm just kidding. When she says that, we've established that she's not kidding. And realistically, the way that she's dealing with things, the fact is it may be too little too late. Not just in relation to her blood pressure, but in relation to her diabetes, in relation to pretty much everything. I don't believe the statements that she's made in relation to her lab work being fine, that her liver enzymes are back to normal. Her eating habits would dictate otherwise. Her diabetes, which she has left unmanaged for more than a year now, has been doing silent damage to her kidneys, to her eyes, to her circulatory system as a generality. God's honest truth, I would not be shocked if she started having issues with her memory, personality changes, because the brain is affected by circulatory issues, which can be caused by diabetes and by hypertension. Combination of the two makes the likelihood even better. So be on the lookout for that, y'all.
I want to live a long time to make people mad. I'm just kidding.
I want to live a long, long time. In a few days, I should be caught up with everything. And you guys will get some good content headed your way. I mean, a lot of you just like these videos, A lot of you don't, but I can't make everyone happy. Very healthy. Ever since the, nausea weird episode at the store, I have not really been too hungry, so this is perfect.
Since the nausea episode at the store, she's not been too hungry, but just finished saying that in the car on the way home, she was thinking about what she wanted for dinner. That goes back to compulsive food behavior. I mean, we've seen her eat when she's not hungry. We've seen her eat to the point of almost being physically ill, but still wanting more food. This, I'm not hungry, but I'm eating anyway. That's compulsive. That's compulsivity at its finest.
I mean, I haven't been wanting something fried or good for me. I was really nauseous, a bit dizzy, and I was like, this huge broccoli is going to take a lot of chewing, and I'm so tired.
I'm so tired, but hasn't done anything all day. We're going to skip.
Life wonderful. Isn't the earth beautiful? Think of all the different cultures, different geographical regions, and
so long as they're not the Western world, they're beautiful and full of majestic cultures. To Foodie, we're uneducated, ignorant, entitled, rednecks, and all this other stuff. Too lazy to chew, more like.
I have a new love for life. I can't bring myself to eat this bland.
A new love for life equals I'm terrified of the prospect that I'm going to fall over dead.
Sour. This dressing is sour. So the lettuce is bland and sour. I want to do this with my hands. It's like a tree. Anyway.
She says she loves broccoli, but then proceeds to smear everything on the plate onto the broccoli. I don't know about you all, but I actually do genuinely like broccoli. I can eat broccoli raw. It doesn't have to be cooked. But we've never seen her do that ever. There's no way her saying that she loves broccoli is accurate. Otherwise, she wouldn't be trying to smear as many calories and as many flavors as she can onto that broccoli to make it palatable for her.
There's so much to discover, like, in the world.
Says by a woman who very rarely ever leaves the shoebox.
If I can just focus on this goal of wanting to travel, I'll get there.
She's been focused on this the entire time we've been in this particular arc of her story. And again, she very rarely ever leaves the apartment.
It's like a motivation.
I'm thinking so. I'm seeing a lot of things that leads me to believe that.
Here's a paper. I'm so tired. I feel like I did. Maybe
Real quick, talking about that actually, Grateful. If you'll look at her hands, see right here, how the back of her hands are very swollen, including her fingers, and they have a little bit of a sheen to them. The skin has a tiny little bit of a sheen. The skin there, everything in your hands are really not meant to, even when you're overweight, and I've been overweight, even when I've been overweight, my hands have not been overly enlarged. I mean, when I had weight there, you couldn't really see the tendons nearly as well, but there was just enough there to pat it. She's very exactly, Miss Sunshine. You got it, girl. Big brain girl, big brain sister in the house. She knew exactly where I was going with this. That sheen, that waxy appearance that we see on her, that's a sign. That's indicative of congestive heart failure. And you usually really only see it in the ending stages of congestive heart failure, which also lines up with the fact that she can't walk more than 10, 15 feet without feeling like she's going to fall out or puke. It'll also address the fact that, her energy level is just shot because her body is trying so hard to maintain itself with the little bit of oxygen and blood flow that it's got going right now. Right. And it's not just her, it's ALR too, but this one lives in a perpetual state of denial about the things that she feels like she can accomplish. That's the difference between the two of them.
exert myself a bit.
Oh, real quick, look over here to give you an idea of just how swollen her hands are. This, I do believe, is supposed to be the largest ring size that they could find for her. And look at how swollen her fingers are, where that ring is. It's not a good sign at all.
Yeah. That was good. I'm like happy because like normally if I go out and I encounter some kind of like physical limitation, it discourages me and makes me want to comfort you. So I'm glad I chose something healthy. And that's kind of just how I take it day by day. Like,
all within the span of 5 minutes, we went from I got nauseated and sick and I didn't feel hungry to I was thinking about food in the car, so I ordered this, to normally I get discouraged and I want to eat for comfort. I'm so glad that I ordered this that's healthy. More than anything, in her attempt to snow the audience, the only person that it's actually landing for is herself. It is really kind of wild, to be truthful, how much of her own delusion she believes. All right, now on to one of my least favorite people.
Welcome to New
Miss Non-Tent herself.
Vlog.
Sorry, y'all. She works my nerves.
So today I have been
just like super stressed with like moving companies.
I've been like super stressed having to like talk on the phone. Ma'am, you don't know what stress looks like in relation to a move until you're actually packing and moving your own shit.
Because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hire a moving company.
Because I'm lazy and I'm ill-equipped to do any damn thing for myself.
How else is my stuff going to get there? A U-Haul would have to be driven by someone.
And I'm incapable of fitting in the cab of one.
And I don't know anyone who wants to drive a U-Haul.
Because I have no friends.
So we're not going to be doing that. So I think it's just easier to do like a moving company. And it's so weird because some moving companies like pack your stuff for you. And I'm like, no. Nobody is touching my stuff. Like even Feline tries to help me and I'm like, no. I just have like some weird thing about like I need my stuff packed like my way. Might be a control thing. It might be part of that OCPD, you know what I'm saying? Which before anyone gets offended, I was diagnosed with that. I had a whole video on it, like literally the day it happened.
Actually diagnosed or online survey that led you to believe that you were positive for that?
Because I was kind of shocked.
Because we know that that's one of the things that she loves to do. She tries to diagnose herself online with 10-question quizzes.
So yeah, it's hard to find a moving company. I've called a few places to get like quotes and like how long it would take to get my stuff there and all of that stuff. Oh, by the way, people have noticed that I've been looking in the viewfinder. It's because my camera goes like out of focus a lot, and
The girl eye fucks herself. Boo boo, you're a narc. Just say it.
edit it out, but I'm always like going up close and like clicking on it and stuff. So I'm just seeing if it's out of focus or in focus or whatever. So when you notice me doing that, that's what that's about. So yeah, y'all, there's been a plot, like an actual plot twist in my life. Like I've given a lot of updates and a lot of people have like asked like, you know, are you and Feline gonna get back together? Like, have you guys like hooked up or anything? And honestly, I have like tried my very hardest to not do that, not kiss her, not hug her, not anything.
Thought she was heartbroken.
And I don't know like what happened last night, but we did hook up. I don't even know why I'm sharing this.
Because I have no actual content.
Just my journey of life. And I know a lot of people like question like, why do you share so much online?
Because she has nothing else to talk about. So she talks about whatever she could humanly share because she doesn't leave the house.
Because that has been my life for 10 years. I do not know how to stop.
Because I have talked about mundane, useless bullshit because I don't have any real hobbies. I don't have anything really to offer. So I just talk about me and my thoughts and the journals that I buy and the shit that I hoard and then donate or dump. Because I don't do anything to improve myself as a human being.
Literally, I don't.
Jesus Christ.
I don't. And this is just like my journey of life, and it has definitely been a crazy little plot twist. I was not expecting it, and it kind of just happened.
So as somebody who's supposed to be an avid reader, her calling screwing around with an ex that lives in the home a plot twist is an interesting choice of words. First off, a plot twist would be, we broke up, she wants to get back together, and as a matter of fact, she proposed to me. That would be a plot twist. Two grown, fully functioning adults who've been in a relationship for the last 2 years opting to screw around, even though they're not together as a couple, is not a plot twist. I'll be honest with you. I don't believe they did. She's doing an awful lot of fidgeting, and she's not making any eye contact. That leads me to believe that a fair amount of this is probably fiction, if not all of it. The other thing too, ideally, and this may sound disgusting, and I really, I don't even really want to think about this, but this is based solely off of observation. Her making the claim that this is the most passionate relationship she's ever been in can almost bank on the fact that Felina is probably the first person that she has actually had sex with. Because, if you'll think about this, during that initial phase when the two of them first got together, how she had hickeys everywhere and she was going out of her way to show her hickeys. That's a teenager response. Who does shit like that? Teenage girls, before they ever actually start doing anything, will be like, oh my God, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to show you that. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Don't talk about it. That's been her. I honestly don't think that she was doing the do with anybody until this particular chick. They may have did some stuff, but I don't think they went all the way. You know what I'm saying, Abby? Good to see you, by the way. But I think a lot of this whole particular interlude a lot of it is fiction, if not all of it, because she's giving cues of dishonesty in this whole conversation. She seems to forget that we have tells where we tell on ourselves unconsciously, and she's doing that.
And I was expecting to wake up with like weird regret. Like she was worried that I was going to wake up with regret. And then so it made me start beating into my head that I was going to. And I'm very much the type of person, I can't do casual sex. I can't. I never have. That's just not who I am. So I was afraid that like weird feelings were going to get involved, but it's so weird. I woke up with no regret. I woke up with no weird feelings, like at all.
That's another reason why I don't believe any of this. Absolutely. Here's the other thing. Just a little caveat to throw in there. Not only is it physically impossible, but I have no doubt that there is a great deal of self-consciousness around that. I mean, we already know that she's had a full conversation. It's been documented. It's been discussed where she talked to Casey about, do I smell down there? Because of my size, I want to know. Here's the other thing that not a lot of people know. And I've brought this up when the whole conversation about the swamp ass thing came around with Destiny. And the fact that she claims all day long, I bathe every day. I do this, I do that. I do not smell, first of all. Hang on real quick. We're going to take a sidetrack here, class. I'm going to show you a little something. Okay. You see this right here? This is yeast. Okay. This happens quite a bit in the folds of people's skin. And it happens quite a bit in obesity. Okay. This is not uncommon by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. Let me see if I can zoom in on that here. Oh, okay. So I clicked on the picture and it took me away from the picture. Gotta love it. Anyway, so this is actually relatively normal for people. Normal. It's not normal. This is not healthy by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a consistent secondary effect of being amber size. And this is because you're talking about perpetual skin-to-skin contact where, you have folds, where you have sweat and moisture buildup. You see how it has this shine to it? And that's because it is moist all the time. And I'm going to tell you something else. It doesn't matter how much Gold Bond you put on it, how much baby powder you put on it. It don't matter. It always looks like this. Another thing that happens is it has a smell to it. It is funky. That's why I made the comment when she made this huge stink about it being said that she smelled bad. I don't smell bad. Yes, boo-boo. Yes, you do. We have seen you. You got a hell of a lot of flap work going on there. There ain't no way in hell you don't have something like this going on. It is physically impossible. It absolutely is. This is basically a yeast infection of the skin. And even treating it, putting ointment on it, using fungal spray, nothing is going to make it go away. It is a constant because there is perpetual moisture, there's perpetual skin-to-skin contact. That is just the way it goes. Even if, which I don't think it'll ever happen, let's say Amber lost 300 of her 500 plus pounds right now. She will continue to have this problem even after weight loss because of that constant skin-to-skin contact where those folds meet. That's just the way that it goes. Exactly. There is nothing pleasant smelling about this at all. So Miss Thing claiming, oh, I bathe twice a day. I don't ever smell. I have a mental thing about it. You have a mental thing about it because you do smell and you know you smell. It is not a negative characteristic of being fat. It's just a reality. That's just it. It just is, you know. If I find her again, let's continue on.
I don't know why it happened.
Oh, I say that to say this. You cannot tell me that she doesn't have some sort of self-consciousness about the way her body smells when that is probably 98% chance that she's got all that going on in that same region too, you know, not just, you know, the average sweat in the female region. I'm trying to be as PC about this as I can.
I'm not sure how it happened, but it just happened. It literally just happened. And I don't know. We're not getting back together. I know a lot of people think that.
Did y'all catch that?
Just happened. It literally just happened. And I don't know.
I don't know.
We're not getting back together.
We're not getting back together. This is another thing that she does. When she's being dishonest, she does this. She completely contradicts herself subconsciously. She shakes her head when she's lying.
Assume that they say that we flirt on camera. I think that
they say that we flirt on camera. Yeah, you do.
Have that I was going to say weird. I mean, it is kind of weird because we're not together anymore. We do have that connection. I don't know
that connection
to say, but we just know that we cannot be together. We can't. Even just through this moving journey, it's just been so stressful, and we just, I don't know. There's been a little bit of bumping heads for sure, but yeah, I don't know. That's just a little update on that. And I've taken some paper and I've taken a pen and I'm creating the time.
Yep. She's a disembodied person and she made it that way intentionally.
Line for okay, so this is the day I have to arrive at my apartment. So when do I leave this apartment? When do I turn in the keys? And then this and that. There's so many little tiny odds and ends, so many I's to dot and T's to cross, and it's just been stressing me out so much. We're slowly figuring it out. I don't know.
Tell me you've never adulted without telling me you've never adulted. Tell me you've had other people taking care of you without telling me you've had other people taking care of you. Sorry, y'all. It just dawned on me that the volume was really low. Why didn't y'all tell me? I say that because I'm looking at this as from the perspective of a fully functioning, capable adult who has done nothing with the help of others for a majority of my life. Okay. Cooking, cleaning, taking care of my own shit. All right. When I moved, I packed all of my shit by myself, packed all my shit in the truck by myself, moved it over here, unpacked it, put everything away, quickly put everything away. So there was no order to it at the time, which I have rectified. I've gone through and sorted and put everything where I want it so that everything has its place. This one is, oh, I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed. It's so hard. And she's not even doing any of the actual work. It was like she moved the desk out of the office into the living room. You guys, I don't know how I managed to move this desk. Boo-boo, you drug it across the floor. You are acting as though you physically picked this desk up, which wouldn't be humanly possible for her because she has zero physical strength. I mean, God's honest truth, I would love to see an actual physical breakdown of her makeup. I would love to see exactly what her muscle mass percentage would be. There is no doubt in my mind that this one probably has as much muscle atrophy as Foodie does. I mean, when she moved that little rack for Feline's, what was that deal? For her records. And she went to pick that up and she's like, oh, that's too heavy. That might need 2 people. It might need 2 people if one of them involves her. But I can almost guarantee that if Feline walked in there and picked it up, she could move it no problem whatsoever. And that's because Feline is a fully functional, active human being. That's the difference. Exactly. I have a cousin that does the same thing. She will go on Facebook and she will write stuff. And then when people write stuff back, she's like, I didn't ask for your opinion. Who do you think you are? First off, if you don't want it talked about, don't share it. That's common sense. But that's the thing. She wants the attention. She wants the speculation because then later on when it happens, she can come online and boohoo cry about it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. There is method to her madness. This one will never be able to truly, fully function on her own. We know this. We've seen this. I mean, she's terrified of the idea of being alone. That's why she's so quick to overlap one girlfriend with the next. She said it herself. She's terrified of the prospect of falling down and not being able to get back up and not having somebody there. She is terrified. And she should be. I mean, take a look at Life by Jen. It didn't take much, one little thing to put Jen down, and she stayed down. It'll be the same for her. I've seen it many times.
I'm so stressed.
I'm so stressed. Tell us you have no life without telling us. Jesus
If
Christ.
anyone, I don't know if you guys just saw a gnat. Did you guys see that gnat? I don't know if you guys did, but there was a gnat crawling right in front of me, or a fruit fly, as some people call it. But if any of you know of any good, like, moving companies or whatever it may be, please let me know because, oh, I just saw the gnat again. Because your girl needs help. I have
I'm not
gotten
gonna
quotes
say
from a few
anything.
places, and I don't know. There's one that I have in mind that probably makes the most sense and has the best reviews, but I'm just curious. So it is the next day. I have not vlogged all day today, so my bad. I've been kind of sucking on.
Real quick, and this is going to be ugly. Oh man, the pause game is perfect. Look at that face. Holy schmoly. Okay. Can we take a moment just to appreciate the linebacker of it all? I mean, Michael Orr ain't got shit on this one. Jesus Christ.
Vlogging area the last few days, but I just want to say I'm kind of excited. I'm actually about to get ready for bed, by the way. I'm kind of excited because tomorrow I have a virtual tour with the apartment that I am going to be moving in. No, I have not done that yet. I know I'm doing things a little bit out of order. I just have high hopes for this place. So that is what is happening tomorrow, and I'm really excited for that. I will say I am a little anxious because we all know sometimes photos don't do the place justice, but yeah, the virtual tour is tomorrow, and I will definitely let you guys know how it goes in this vlog. And I also found out today that I might be allergic to crab. Yeah, I had some crab today, and I noticed every single time I have real crab, my nose
Every single time I have real crab.
is just so bad. Like when I have sushi, it's
So this has happened before, but she continues to have real crab. Touching base on this. She absolutely does. She has been told before that she more than likely has sleep apnea. Based on her size, the percentage is very, very high. But old girl won't follow through. And there's going to come a point where the likelihood is good that she is going to stop breathing when she sleeps if she hasn't done it already. And I can tell you right now, unless she snores, like raunciously snores, there's a distinct possibility that who's sleeping in the bed with her may not even notice when she stops breathing. As crazy as it may sound, there may be a distinct possibility that she may stop breathing altogether, and the person in the bed with her could eventually roll over and find her ass dead. So, just saying. Hey, I mean, come on. Look at the girl's shoulders. I couldn't help but point that out. I mean, it's never been more obvious because 9 times out of 10, the angle, and she could prevent this, but she chooses these angles. I mean, she's doing this. Okay. I mean, if you wanted to hide it, pick it up, so that there's less shoulder, there's more head. I mean, this girl's supposed to be a professional YouTuber, but she chops off the top of her own freaking head. I mean, she opens herself up to this. It is ugly, but I don't care. Yes. The girl might as well just say, I'm breathing, so I'm anxious. Okay. Oh, I have no doubt. We're going to bypass this whole eating crab bullshit because she notices that she has this issue, but she continues to do it. It reminds me of the woman. I know just about everybody out there has seen Dr. Dolittle with Eddie Murphy. The woman sitting in the bathroom stall and her face swollen up going, but I took it out of the shell. That's her. That's her.
going to be virtual tour.
As a fat girl, I do not believe that it is possible to be fatphobic. As to being a sociopath, some of that might be a little true. Everybody has a little bit of psychopathy to them anyway,
So I'm just in the middle of doing my makeup, and Feline goes,
I'm bypassing this section because no offense to nobody. This whole channel of mine is supposed to be about having a good time, pointing out the hypocrisy, and just discussing the stuff that we see. Have a good night, Grateful. It's good to see you. I'm glad you were able to stop in. What in the world is going on? There we go. Performative cat grooming, because we know that that's not going on. I'm backtracking to what I was talking about. I'm not getting into the politics. I don't like it when she talks about it because, number one, the girl don't know fuck all about anything. Okay? Unless you have some sort of actual knowledge base on politics, you don't need to really be chiming in on it. The girl really doesn't have a knowledge base about much of anything other than DoorDash and how to, and, takeout menus. That's why I say this is performative, because otherwise Wasabi wouldn't look the way that he looks. And looking at him, he's not brushed enough. He's not bathed enough. He looks scraggly, That's why I say this is performative.
So,
just like I think this is performative.
So good outside. It's kind of hot. I'm a little hot, I'm not gonna lie. But I've seen hotter days. I have felt hotter days. So yeah, it kind of feels good.
Look at how tight this necklace is, y'all.
Plus, I also think it's because I'm wearing something like thinner than usual. A lot of like the clothes I wear is like kind of on the thicker side. Come on, Twink. She was just standing there sniffing the air. But yeah, it feels good. Twinkie and I do this walk 3 times a day.
Twinkie does that walk 3 times a day. I don't think Amber does.
And I've noticed it's drastically helps with my stamina.
I am so sick of hearing that word. Between her, between Foodie, I am so tired of hearing the word stamina.
She thinks she owns these streets. Yeah, she does.
Normally, I feel like it'd be a bad thing, but in my opinion, I feel so I want to say that the apartment looks different than the photos, which is actually not a bad thing. Normally, I feel like it'd be a bad thing, but in my opinion, I feel like it looked even better during the tour. So I'm very happy about that. I am happy about my choice. I don't know. Somehow I managed to always make it happen. This is not the first time. This is not my first rodeo. Finding an apartment. Obviously, I've lived a few places before, but if you guys want me to do my daily weigh-ins once a week, actively not on any medicine at all, not even for my mental health, we could talk about that some other time.
Nope, we're going to talk about it right now. Non-compliant Lynn has entered the chat. She wants to use this mementals. My mentals make it hard. Everything is hard. Life is hard. Mentals are scary. But she won't do the bare minimum to maintain any sort of mental health stability, which leads her physical health to be even worse simply because she gives into the compulsive eating that we know that she's there for. Yep, and that would be another reason too, that I don't think that she is in any sort of hurry to actually lose weight or to make an effort to lose weight, because she has fuck all for a personality, because nobody likes a ditzy 120-pound-year-old heifer, The personality is non-existent. It's not cute. It never has been. Her being stupid is not cute. It never has been. The reality of her situation is that her being 500 pounds is really the only thing that she has that makes her different. In her mind. It really doesn't make her different. There are plenty of 500 plus pound women in this world, men too. Otherwise 600 pound life wouldn't even be a thing. But she is extremely two-dimensional. And realistically, for her, God's honest truth, if she actually did put forth some effort and lost some weight initially, the response would be overwhelming. People would be all for it, because, she would be going out, she would be doing things, she would actively be having more of a life than she has now, which says a lot. But over time, her ege and the fact that she is an unbearable snot would eventually turn people off. She has an ego. You can see it, and just how she deals with people. Yep, 100%.
And honestly, I haven't felt better. I have not felt better. Medicine definitely messes with your brain, and I was on medicine for bipolar for like 6 years, and I was getting like accustomed to feeling a certain way, and now that I've been off of it it's been almost 2 months now, I feel so much better. And I've also stopped taking medicine for my anxiety because I haven't really had any.
At some point, and I'm not going to do it today, but I'm going to take this particular clip where she said, I stopped taking my medication for anxiety because I haven't really had any. And then I'm going to take a video and I'm going to go through and I'm going to do a fucking ticker count on how many times she says she's anxious, she's stressed, whatever. It's so overwhelming for her. Because like I said, for her, breathing is anxiety inducing for this one because she has so little actual responsibility. So what is it? Are you not stressed? Are you not anxious? Or are you? Make up your mind.
Like I said, we can talk about this another time, but long story short, I have not felt such clear-headed in a very long time. But no, I'm not taking any medicine, and it
because Delta 8 and Delta 9 are not medicine, y'all.
just makes me so sad that like people would automatically like jump there and assume that just because like I'm on track and I am losing weight, but I guess it makes sense as well. And
it makes sense that people would assume that you're taking diuretics or some sort of medicinal intervention to make you lose weight because you're not willing to put forth the effort. The effort to actually lose weight. I mean, y'all look at me. Y'all know I've been on a weight loss journey since the beginning of February. No medicinal intervention except for that first 30 days to help me get into the routine of fasting for 16 hours. But once that 30-day period came and went, I am now on a regimented schedule. First 14 pounds was with medicinal intervention. The rest of it, which by the way, I'm going to say this, that first 14 pounds was a fast loss on my part. Very fast. 14 pounds in the first month. That's a lot of weight. Okay. From there, it has slowed down. It's been 2 pounds. It's been 1.5 pounds. It's been 3 pounds. It just depends on what my activity level is for that particular week, what particular types of activities I'm doing in that week. But it's been slow and steady from that point forward. And this one has lost 18 pounds in the first 2 weeks. There is no way in hell, even if it is just water weight. I don't believe that. She can say what she wants. The other thing too, this whole I'm not taking medication and I have medication anxiety and I can't take a multivitamin because it makes me nervous, because you could have all kinds of problems from taking medication, will gladly swallow a Delta 8 or a Delta 9. This is the mental gymnastics. Somebody give this heifer the gold medal.
And it partially is my fault because I'm never on track and I'm never losing weight. And it's like finally that I am.
I love the fact that she keeps using the term back on track, back on track. Ma'am, you've been on this track for 10 years. Exactly. Well, I'll rephrase, not track. You've been online for 10 years with the same goal, and you have not been on track yet.
And I don't want to like share what I'm doing. I guess I can understand why people would be like, well, is she taking a diuretic? Like, what is she doing? So I guess I understand that to an extent. Partially my fault, but no, I am not taking any medicine at all.
The other thing too, it would actually take medication probably for her to actually lose weight. Because, I mean, again, I've done the figures on this. Her basal metabolic rate would dictate a calorie count of 3,300 calories a day for her to stay at this current weight. And we know that what she's eating on camera is not all that she's eating, despite no matter how hard she tries to say that it is.
This is all strictly me. So, anyways, according to the results, so far we have over 2,000 votes, and 63% wants updates throughout the week. And
well, she would have gotten results with it, yes, but I do believe based on her behavior that she would have ended up with drastic side effects and complications from it. I mean, she wouldn't even take a damn multivitamin, Abby. I mean, I'm going to okay. Here's the deal. As somebody who has had weight loss surgery, and I'm 20 plus years out from that, to this day, I have to take a multivitamin every day without fail. I have to take an acid reducer every day without fail. I have to take extra B12. I have to take extra iron. You know, you are regimented from that point forward. I have to take a calcium supplement every day, which I do. I take 2 Tums every day right before I go to bed, because that, in concert with my acid reducer, my Pepcid, my famotidine, for the over-the-counter folks that like to buy the cheap version, famotidine, it cuts down on the prospect of developing stomach ulcers, which you have a high risk of when you have this type of surgery. And you don't have to worry. It helps supplement for bone strength. This one won't even follow through on her mental health meds. And she wouldn't take a multivitamin. Okay, so there's no way that she would actually be healthy if she had this surgery. She would lose the weight, yes, but she would have all sorts of secondary problems. The other thing, too, that she would not do is she would not stay away from the sugar. She absolutely would not. And ideally, I mean, I don't know if y'all saw it. My sobriety birthday came around. I had a half a piece of cake, because that's all I could have without it making me feel sick. It gives me palpitations. It makes me a little nauseous. I have to lay down. That is an unfortunate side effect of this surgery. It's called dumping syndrome. She would eat straight through it. She would ignore the symptoms no matter how bad she felt, and it would cause her all sorts of problems. The other thing that would happen too is she would stretch her stomach back out because she has really disordered eating. That she would drop the weight, but she would gain it back, or she would have all sorts of issues.
Vlogs. So lucky for you guys, I have some weigh-in updates. So just a little reminder.
It is August 23rd. Pretty sure it's Wednesday. So.
Well, God's honest truth, it's really hard to tell. But, you know, doing things the way that she does them, realistically, it's a pretty distinct possibility that she wouldn't follow the recommendations immediately following surgery. She could actually rupture the sutures they put in, you know. I actually know a guy. His name is Trey. Very nice guy. He actually looked just like Chris Farley. He actually acted like Chris Farley too. He was a hot mess. But he actually ended up in the ICU 5 days after surgery because of complications. He was in a hurry. He moved too fast. You know, he didn't listen. and it caused him to rupture his sutures, and he ended up septic. He had a systemic infection from it, so it is entirely possible. And Amber, you can't tell her nothing because she thinks that she knows more than even the most seasoned, educated professionals, so it all depends. I mean, either way, she's in danger. The difference is how quickly it kills, a systemic infection or a secondary complication, depending upon how bad it is, could kill her quickly. Whereas what she's doing now kills her slowly. Okay, let's see. Let's go on with it. Y'all know I couldn't avoid this. As much as I'm over talking about it, she opens her mouth and continues the fuckery.
The best that I can. All this happened way before we got together, okay?
Yeah.
The girl had an ID. Again, I'm not justifying that.
She had an ID.
She had an ID. The cops took the ID. He had no, hold on, y'all, let me plug up. There was an ID. There was no.
An ID? Like, what
He
is it,
was
running
up-
by, like, the
She
board?
had a
or-
fake ID, unfortunately.
She had
And
a
there,
fake ID for her pimp.
Marty, he didn't.
So he only pimps out women over the age of 18, 21. And
Marty, I'm not trying to, it was a different time in his life. I'm not excusing it. No, I'm not
No.
absolutely, but it
Can I ask what he
wasn't.
does for a living now? Just out of curiosity.
Marty, are you serious? So
What?
y'all want him to work or you don't want him to work?
I'm just,
Yep, and as far as I'm concerned, whenever she gets the hole deep enough, she can just pull the dirt in right on top of her head and we'll call her done. Because I'm sick of her shit. She comes on here and every single time she opens her mouth, she downplays it. That's not who he used to be. Well, that's who he used to be. That's not who he is anymore. This is the same man who not even 2 weeks ago said she wanted a hoe, so she hoed. I don't feel bad for her. I don't give two fucks what any of you think. But then she gets on here and says, oh, he feels horrible. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. The truest form of people is exactly who they are. And he came on there and he let it be known. He didn't give a shit. He has no remorse. He is not reformed. Him having a job does not make him reformed. He is still fucking predatory. He still uses people. He is not a saint. He is not even evolved since then. Exactly. More and more bullshit gets drawn in.
I'm wondering, why can't I not ask any questions?
Do you really think that I'm going to let anybody wreck? So are people supposed to reform? Or are they supposed to not reform?
Reform would entail that they have some remorse, that they have learned from the choices that they made and have opted to never do that again. And to also contribute to the people who could possibly be victimized.
Well, so I'm not asking
Marty,
where
come
he works,
on
I'm just
now.
asking what industry he works in.
Come
Is that a fair
on.
question?
Come on, Marty.
So,
Come on.
why is that not a fair?
I have never wanted to hit somebody so much in my life. Come on, Marty. Come on. Shut up. Either answer the fucking question or shut up. Be honest or shut up. Exactly. You, of all fucking people, have no justification or room whatsoever to come on here and be a smug asshole. But here we are.
Question.
Really?
Industry.
So
Industry he works in?
people want him to reform, but
Oh,
yet
God.
I'm
Listen,
going to
Loki.
tell where he works at.
Listen. Yeah, I'm not asking.
Ain't nobody asked where he works at. They asked what line of work he was in.
Where he works.
Which, the only reason Marty even asked that is because Marty didn't watch the video of her boyfriend's bullshit statement, performance.
I'm asking what industry he works in.
I'm not even comfortable.
Does he have a
going
job? We just live off of you.
No, he has his whole own thing going, legitimate. That's all I'm gonna say.
So what industry? There's no way that
Marty, I'm not even. We have built this ship from the ground up. I am not about to jeopardize. I have taken care of my grandmother.
We work in the same industry. We both work in the same industry. Maybe that's why what he did was normal to you.
No, I used to dance years ago, was very transparent.
Yeah.
I used to hustle, was always transparent. I never came on here and acted like I was the perfect little angel. I said, I've got a backstory. I've got a back history.
Everybody has a fucking backstory. This does not make you unique.
Never was in the pimp game. I never was into any of that. I did my job in the club. When I left the club stayed at the club. Home was at home.
I take that moment to pause there simply because anybody who knows anybody who actually strips, or excuse me, who is an adult entertainer, can tell you that the offers for prostitution come with a high dollar amount, and that the likelihood of it is pretty frequent in that particular environment. Now, as somebody who is an addict like her in that environment, who freely admitted it, the aim is for money to transfer for product for usage. Now, do I think that she went and took her clothes off, collected her little dollars off the stage, and then went home? Not likely.
Okay, so I guess all that's immaterial. What are you possibly going to say that would endorse your support of this man that you think is going to be accepted by anyone in this sphere?
I want to first off, no matter how anybody takes this, and please let me at least say this, I truly apologize to each and every one of you. If this has
we're not some children. We're some children who had innocence stolen.
If anything gets said, I need this to be said.
Yeah, you don't listen. We didn't get pimped out as children, so you don't need to give us any apologies.
I'm giving an apology to those that cared for me, my channel, and that's really all that I'm here for.
I'm trying so hard to salvage what little bit of an internet career I have online because the money is easy money.
So
yeah, do you think that anyone's going to welcome you back?
And that's all right. But I want to apologize to those that got hurt in this. I never wanted to hurt anybody. I see a lot of people saying that their past was dredged up by this. That I don't ever want to come on here to hurt anybody. I always wanted to come on here to lift people up. I really am a recovering addict. This is me. I'm me. I don't play a character on YouTube.
I really am a recovering addict. You're presenting as though you were simply a dry addict. I've said it more than once. I've said it applicable to her, to Breezy. People who are actually in recovery, who actually work a program, take responsibility for the things that they say and they do. She has done none of that. Every bit of this is, I'm sorry you feel a kind of way. That is not taking responsibility. That is, I'm sorry I didn't get the response I hoped for.
The same person, and it was never my intentions to anybody to get hurt in the crossfire of this.
Do you think that continuing to engage in this sector is going to be conducive to him or you improving your lives?
I think that both of us have tremendously improved our lives. He has helped me. I have helped him. People are going to believe what they want to believe, but I do feel like I owe those that cared or care about me I never meant to hurt you guys, and that's from the bottom of my heart. If you hate me, I understand that. And I can take that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I understand, like, you come from, like, a different sector of the internet. I mean, I come from a different sector of the internet, and, like, our rules are not the same. If you're just trying to live an honest, hardworking life, and you don't want to be criticized or experience negativity, do you think that continuing to engage on the internet is something that's in your best interest?
I do understand, and I've always said this, tit for tat. If I criticize Foodie and other people are going to criticize me.
It's not about Foodie.
Exactly.
It's about the child being pimped.
Can I ask a question real quick, Marty?
Sure.
The chat wants to know, some of the people in the chat want to know.
I'm sorry, y'all. I can't see the chat. I apologize.
They want to know why you said the victim wasn't a victim initially.
Let me clear that up. Is okay.
This is what I was waiting on.
The reason why I said that was definitely in poor taste, and I was acting on emotions.
And who you are when you act from emotion is exactly who you are. That is the most honest you will ever be.
Wait.
I have to tread lightly because I don't. Somebody, this woman has moved on, has, totally. So
she's moved on, but that doesn't mean that she's healed from what was done to her.
How do I? This woman, young adult. I apologize. Yeah. Young adult. The reason why I said that is she was trying to get away from her family. That's kind of why I said that, because she was willing to be there.
Not having an option does not mean you're choosing that life. When living on the street or subjecting yourself to being used and manipulated and peddled as product is the option secondary to being around a family who may be abusing you, does not make it better. The fucking mental gymnastics, y'all.
Didn't mean to. I acted in anger. I acted poorly. But that is where that comes from.
Are you considering maybe the possibility that you're acting poorly right now?
I'm just trying to be honest and answer the questions as honestly and real as possible. I'm not trying to bullshit anybody.
That's exactly what she's doing.
Not trying to. I'm giving everything I got here.
Well, I mean, I'm going to give you the best advice I can give you is to log off the internet right now and to stay off the internet.
I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not going to say what I'm thinking.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to be, you heard that little chuckle in Marty's voice? I'm going to say this. If he goes after her, I'm not going to feel the slightest little bit of pity. He gave her the opportunity. And it was the most sound advice he could have gave her.
I don't see why, Marty. I don't see why people deserve this. This is why some people, go back to different things. I'm not saying us, but people deserve second chances. And if people don't give me that, I understand that.
You had yours. You had yours. The fact that you came out of being a drug addict, you came online and started all the way over, that was your second chance. And what did you do? You were dishonest. You were manipulative. You were a judgmental fuck. And what have you done since then? You have rolled through with your whole chest out, arrogant, and I'm just not even. I'm done. I'm done. She's an asshole.
But for the people that email me and talk about recovery and that I've helped, to say that I need to go, what? That
you're coming online and saying you're a child victim,
For anybody out there who has any sort of issue with recovery that wants to discuss it with somebody, I'm right here. I will listen all day long. You can email me on Instagram. My email address is posted. This is not a person actually in recovery. This is somebody white knuckling the fuck out of life is what this is. This is a person who allows their emotions to dictate their behavior and how they treat people. This is not somebody who's working a program. If you're in recovery, you need somebody who's got their fucking spiritual, mental, and their physical life under control. She does not have that. She doesn't. A person who's in recovery is going to be grateful for everything that they have, number one. And number two, they're not going to use that as a method by which to beat other people over the head. And there is a whole clip, and if I have to find it, I will, of her talking about, I drive a Mercedes Benz. I drive da-da-da-da-da-da. First off, if you're grateful, you're not going to be rubbing it in other people's faces. You're not going to rest on the little bit of laurels that you have attained by not doing a drug that you have decided is your drug of choice. Do not rely on this woman as a bastion of sobriety. She, as far as I'm concerned, is no different than Breezy in that respect. There are a lot of fucking people who will tell you, oh, I'm sober. I'm sober. Just because you're not putting the drug into your body does not mean that you're sober. How you behave dictates that. The drinking, the drug is a symptom of your illness. That is all.
Wasn't a victim.
I'm not saying that, Marty.
You did.
She's done said that.
I'm not saying that.
But you did.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it was a whole ass ordeal that, yes, was it made in poor taste? Absolutely. Do I want to justify this? No, that was not my intentions.
She's still justifying it in this particular instance. That's all this was.
Acted like shit when I first came on. I acted in my emotions. Absolutely. And so did he.
Are you going to whine when people victimize you?
Marty, I've been victimized ever since this went down.
You think so? You think so?
Seriously? We're going to go there?
Well, I've given you it. Look, final opportunity, log off, stay off.
Not happening.
Okay.
So what are we going to do here? Are you who's threatening to set my house on fire and kill my dogs? Is that what we're doing here?
Well, why did I constantly get accused of being?
I honestly don't believe that if she had received those types of threats, that she wouldn't be posting that shit. Because that, along with some of the other stuff that she does on this particular live stream, is her trying to scratch out some pity in it all. The problem for her is that it's falling on a lot of deaf ears, myself included. She should take the fucking L and log off. Nobody wants her here.
Dog hitman.
These are the emails I'm receiving. That my dogs are going to get shot. My house is going to get burned down. So do I need to take precaution?
I would sleep with one eye open. I'll tell you that.
I always sleep with one eye open, baby.
I would if I slept next to a pimp who smacked around kids for money.
Nobody smacked around anybody, Marty. Read the cases. They're out there. They're out there, Marty. Read that shit.
Shut the fuck up. That's bullshit. That's how it works.
Nobody's no, Marty.
You don't
Nobody's
come
messed
up with
around
money and
nobody.
get slapped around. Shut the
No,
fuck up.
that's not the case. Sorry.
How do you work? Tell me how it worked then.
So,
Now, as somebody who claims that she was never a prostitute and that she was never pimped, how exactly are you supposed to know that unless you've been there? Yep.
sorry, that's not the case.
Tell me how it worked.
Let me tell you, Marty. I don't know.
How it worked.
Right?
So how do you deprive this child of their money?
There was no depriving the child of the money.
So, okay.
The money was for her to stay there because where they were staying, nor the person knew that she was underage either.
So did he sleep
Nobody
with the
was
underage
condoning being underage.
Did he sleep with the underage kid?
No.
Bullshit.
She came and she went and did her own thing. Marty,
Bullshit.
I'm a grown ass. I don't have to lie to you.
I'm so sick of hearing that shit too. I'm a grown ass woman.
What he did in his
He's
past.
a landlord. Bullshit. I don't fucking believe it.
Read it. It's all out there. Read it. Why?
Okay.
Why would I come one here when the case is out there? It's public.
I'll wait.
I'm just wondering how he deprived this child of her money, like just by paying rent.
There's no
or what?
depriving, Marty. They didn't know she was fucking.
Well, so
she had an ID.
You know what deprive means?
Okay, real quick. All right, I'm going with 14. The age group for the charge, okay, was 14 to 16. Here are images of 14-year-old teenage girls. Does that look like somebody who could pass themselves off as an adult? Does that? Let's look at these images, okay? These are 14-year-old girls. Does that look like, does any of these look like anybody that could represent themselves as an adult? This one's got makeup on, okay? I don't care how nice her makeup is. She still looks like a 14-year-old girl. That is a 14-year-old girl. There is no mistaking this, okay? Teenage girls look like fucking teenage girls. I'm sorry. Her saying he didn't know she had an ID, nobody in the house knew she had an ID, does not fucking work. This little girl right here, this beautiful 14-year-old girl who has perfect makeup, the hair is on point, she still looks 14. Her and this fucking bastard that she's living with can kiss my ass. And I'm sorry, when I said when people act a certain way when they're angry, that is who they are, this is who I am. When you talk about a 14-year-old girl like it's her fault because she misrepresented herself by having an ID and you're too fucking stupid to look at them and see that they're a 14-year-old girl, same little girl, look at her, she's beautiful. Makeup done. That is still a 14-year-old girl. 14-year-old girl. A 14-year-old girl. 14-year-old girl. Tell me that looks like a fucking adult. I want somebody out there to try to tell me that. 14-year-olds, no matter how heavy their makeup, still look 14. Kaya is a piece of shit. Exactly, Abby. That was a choice. He didn't care. The people in the house didn't care. Saying that, oh, well, she was choosing to be there because she wanted to get away from her family is not an excuse. She's still a 14-year-old girl.
It's absolutely. I'm not saying that, Marty.
So how did he separate this child?
And I'm sorry to y'all that are watching. This makes me fucking angry. I need just a second. My nerves are fucking, look at my hands. I don't get angry to the point where I would want to hurt someone very often. But I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth. This takes me there. Children and animals is a hill I will die on. No child deserves that kind of treatment. Ever. Ever.
From their money, just paying rent? Like, I don't understand that. Maybe you can explain it.
She was staying there. When the cops brought her back there, they seen she had her own room and her clothes and all her belongings were there.
Okay, well then I don't think you like. So let's just say
in the state of Nevada, Marty, is that's the thing too. I see people saying, "Well, why can't he get off the name of the state of Nevada?" It's known for having, a bad rap. People coming at their party and doing it.
The state of Nevada has nothing to do with the choices that your man, and I use that term loosely, made. Abby, I'm okay. I just got a little heated for a minute. Got a little heated. And after this, we will definitely be watching something else because I'm of the position, and this is going to sound ugly, but personally, there should be no discussion. There should be no question. It shouldn't be open for interpretation. If you injure a child, they should put your fucking ass down like a dog. A dog bites a child, that dog is put down. It should be applicable to humans too, because I'm sorry, I don't give two fucks what people say. There is no reforming people like this. None. Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't get hot under the collar, and I don't get in my feelings like this very often, but this right here did it. This did it.
So when they brought her back there and realized that she wasn't 18 plus, they seen she had a room, they seen her belongings were there.
So I mean, I know that like Nevada is like Sin City, right? Las Vegas.
So I want to touch on that. When they brought her back here and they saw her room and they saw that she wasn't of age. So basically she's trying to say that because she got caught by the cops doing something and she lied about her age to them, that's supposed to excuse him of pimping out this child. So basically her getting picked up on the strip was the catalyst to him being caught. Okay. All that did was give the police justifiable cause to investigate him. Because if he is not a family member, if he is not a parent, then why is this 14-year-old girl staying with a grown ass fucking man? There's got to be something wrong here. Yet again, she is continuing to justify it. Yep. And I'm sorry. That is why specifically that I have been made so angry by this video. Because as somebody who has been in a position where SA has been involved, I'm going to tell you right fucking now, I would never side with a man that predicated on somebody else. Never. I don't care how good a person he is. I don't care who he was to me. I would never side with him on that. Because understanding what it's like to be in that woman's position will forever take precedent over how I feel about any man. He's dog shit. There's no question about that. But she is the worst human being by comparison. Because she props his fucking ass up. She fights his fucking battles. She justifies it. She makes excuses. She is talking in circles, giving convoluted bullshit.
And there's a lot of pimps out there.
There are, unfortunately. Yes,
and
there are.
Like, he was just a landlord for children. Bullshit.
He wasn't a landlord, Marty. They were all staying with someone. He wasn't the landlord.
Okay, yeah, he was her pimp.
Yep.
And he was a pimp during the time that she was with him. And there's pimps before and pimps after him. Like, he pimped her. Like, let's just call it what it is. Why can't you just be honest?
I'm being honest. She paid for it. That is how all the money came into play, of how the files went down. When they came in, they seen her clothes were there, and that she had her own room.
Here's the problem with this story. He's not her pimp, but she's giving him money for a house that's not his, for a room that he's not equipped to rent her. If him, this 14-year-old girl, are living in somebody else's house, then why is she paying him for room and board? This is the level of intelligence we're dealing with.
I mean, this is all like a pretty big insult.
Marty,
I'm going to say this. You know, this is one of the small upswings of the jobs that I've taken on over the years. And working around prisoners, it gives you a very finely tuned bullshit meter. And this one is off the charts with her bullshit. Because her story, and no matter how she tries to tell it or what angle she comes at it from, it has so many fucking holes. Realistically, God's honest truth, it is probably beneficial for her that I did not know this stream was going on until after the fact. Because if I had got on that fucking stream, I would have sliced that shit to ribbons. It would have been done. There would have been nothing she could have said to me that would have justified it, number one, and I would have pointed out every fucking hole. She would have not been able to back her way out of it. Right. She is so blinded by the dick that she doesn't want to see it. And that's another thing that I hate about women. And I generally like people, but I hate that behavior in women.
Real with you. You wanted the real, you wanted the truth. I'm giving you, I'm not setting up bullshit.
I was heard you say that, like, you used to hang out with pimps on the reg, right?
I used to live in a shady part of Atlanta. Absolutely.
I don't give two fucks about where she lived.
Do you know what it's like the first time coming on the stream or making a video?
Oh, wait, let's back up.
Can you imagine somebody that you love? Thousands of people are coming at them sideways. I never wanted to hurt people with this.
First off, they weren't coming at him sideways. They were coming at him head on, and they were coming at him the same way any motherfucker on the street would if they found out that he was pimping children. So fuck off with that bullshit.
So both of us absolutely.
Sorry, y'all. The Southern Graces part of me, the general manners part of me, is going to be temporarily paused, okay? Prison nurse side of me has come out.
Fucking Lutely acted like a shit. Both of us. I regret that stream. He regrets that stream. He's not on here. This isn't his realm.
Him not being online has nothing to do with it.
He has a regular job and does his thing. Skinny, do you know what it's like the first time coming on the stream or making a video?
You know
Thank
what,
you.
yeah, so I know what that's like. You know what I don't know?
For those of y'all who are still relatively new or are not around frequently, go back when you get a moment to look at that very first video that I uploaded. There's not much difference between how I was speaking then and how I speak now. The difference in this situation is the person that he was on that first stream is exactly who he is. The person that he came on stream as, wearing his little glasses and his little polo shirt, trying to use big words that are obviously not in his vocabulary, is him putting on a performance. We all see it. We can't, those of us out here that have more than 2 brain cells to rub together, we're not stupid. We can see it. Because she is dumb enough to fall victim to this bullshit does not mean the rest of us are.
Or can relate to is pimping out children for money. Like, that's something that I can't relate to. And
yep,
it's not something I can even consider.
That's the excuse.
He did not know she was a minor. I'm not trying to justify that, but I'm telling you the honest truth.
She's a fucking liar.
Okay, so let's just say like his house full of these girls.
There was couples, there was people. It wasn't just a fucking pimp house and a bunch of chicks.
I don't believe that there was couples there.
Okay.
So he was just a landlord. He was basically like a landlord. Like, maybe I don't think that he would be convicted of pimping or pandering if he just didn't look at a tenant's ID. I don't think that it would work like that.
Go to Nevada, get in the situation, and see what happens.
Get in a situation. You mean victimizing young girls? I'm sorry, that behavior is only reserved for predators.
Okay, so let's just say that I was an honest landlord and a tenant gave me an ID.
He absolutely was.
Fictitious. I wouldn't.
Big ups to Marty on that one.
Look, this girl had pimps before me. She had pimps after me. In fact, a pimp came to testify against me.
That is what she did, though, Marty. I'm not trying to make shit up or lie to you guys. That was just the unfortunately the field that she chose at that time. So ask away.
There she is again. She chose that life.
I'll answer for the next couple minutes. I don't know what you guys want me to say.
This is a narcissistic tactic. I don't know what you want me to say. For those of y'all, we talked about Richard Grannon earlier. That is in one of his videos. This is a manipulation tactic. I don't know what you want me to say, which means you're the problem and not me, because I have done nothing wrong. Exactly. And we'll see more manipulation from Kaya as this moves forward, because we haven't even got to the peak of her performance yet.
Been a fucked up situation? Absolutely. I did not want to hurt any of you guys in this. That was never my you guys or to hurt me. Hurt filling intentions ever. Channel that had, I guess, basically from how it came out to me was I was sent an email and it was like, yo,
you had no idea. Like,
he has always, from the day one I met him, he's always been on, like, you can't start a relationship with somebody and not tell them,
like so building, see, and like I had to rent out units and
stuff. Like,
well, you were a dancer, like an adult dancer, like an exotic dancer.
Yes.
And
yeah. I also had another job, and we met in Las Vegas. I lived in Vegas for a short period of time.
Okay. I mean, like that's like one of the few things that you've said that I actually believe. Yeah.
I've never lied about living. I used to live in Atlanta, met hanging out at a bar on the Strip.
Okay, what kind of bar? All right. I mean, yeah. I mean, you guys were living a similar lifestyle, I'd imagine.
Our lifestyle had changed by then.
Y'all make note of that. Our lifestyle had changed by then.
Oh, you were a dancer at the time, though, right?
No, I was not dancing at that current time. I was taking care of a gentleman that was handicapped.
But y'all be sure to remember that our lifestyle had changed by then.
Being honest, I told the story on my channel. He had gotten shot when he was helped get.
When was he convicted and when did he get out?
He had been out before. He had been out a while before we had met.
Keep that in mind too. He'd been out a little bit before we had met. Our lives had been changed by then. Okay, keep all that in mind.
Can I ask you a serious question? And I'm not trying to pry too much, but I think people are wondering, there are a lot of people out there wondering if you are with him because you feel indebted to him?
No, absolutely not. He said that, do you want me to go? I've helped me build me back. I am not going to turn on you. Why? He said, do you want me to go? And I said, absolutely not. I see the person you are. I know the person. You're going to sit on here and be like, he does this, he does. Is trying to, it'll never repay back the things that.
What do you mean repay somebody if there was no victim?
Oh, I love how Marty put her on the spot right there.
For the whole circumstances, Marty.
Oh,
I'm never saying
like a fair unit, like a fair rent.
I'm never saying that. Is this a fucked up situation? Absolutely.
She started to say, I never said there wasn't a victim. When we know she did, everybody saw it.
Why?
Because it is a fucked up situation.
Well, what's fucked up about it?
He should have been more adamant to realize that she was younger and not participated in any of that. Not surrounded himself with somebody younger.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Not just even being around somebody young.
Harley has a question. Is your grandmother living in the house with
us? Do you want to speak to my crazy grand? She wanted. I said no, Marty.
But she was here. Like,
did she need groceries? Whatever the fuck.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not trying to be nice with you, just to walk in and come on. Okay.
Oh man.
Okay. Well then. All right.
Okay.
Fucking chances. You
had a second chance. Lifestyle. A second chance. You had
fucking chances. What about what, Marty? The people don't deserve second fucking chances.
And then cue Bridget, and I'm gonna say this. I don't know her well. I've only watched maybe one stream of hers, and it was after this. But I dig her. She don't pull no punches. She calls it like she sees it, and she put her out right here.
You had a second chance. You had a second chance. You had a second chance. You've been out. You were in the lifestyle. You got a second chance. You messed up again because you.
About Bridget, I don't know. Don't Bridget up. Bridget, I don't know you nothing. You ain't.
Yeah, you don't. You said that you were going to answer questions. You said so you don't want to answer questions. But I'm a viewer. I'm a viewer.
Now, you see Kaya's behavior during this? That's Kaya. Not everything prior to this. That's Kaya. Now, this is the end of this clip, but there were whole sections after this where she's weepy and crying. And that's another manipulation tactic. That is who Kaya is. She is struggling at this point, and she knows it. She's floundering. She has been treading water, and she is starting to sink, and she knows it. She knows it. I'm not going to go look for the other part of that because the God's honest truth, the entire bit of it fucking infuriates the shit out of me. So let's watch something a little bit more upbeat here. We need a palate cleanser before we continue on with anything else. I introduced you guys to the Tribal People Try. This is a video where they got introduced to Snapchat filters that they had never seen before. And some of this is just beyond adorable to me. And I need a little moment to actually have something Uplift me.
ਇਹ ਕੀ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਮੈਂ ਬਿੱਲੀ
I like Rana.
ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਿੱਲੀ ਬਣਾਤਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਣਾਓਗੇ ਇਸੇ ਮੁੱਛਾਂ ਦੇ ਬੰਨੂ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ
Me too. They are so cute.
ਲਾਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਯਾਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੁੜੀ ਬਣਾਤਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਈ ਲਵ ਮੈਂ ਭਰ ਗਈ
He's my favorite, Shine.
प्रोफेसर बनाता है मैं अलमारी ना चश्मा तो बड़ा प्यारा लग रहा है यार कमाल हो गई जी पगड़ सा चेंज हो गया था हेलो हाउ आर यू ओह वेरी गुड क्या बात है यार मुझे मेहमान जिंदगी जी कदर नहीं बनाए तुम मेरे बाल ही बनाते काली ऐनक लगाती अगर मैं पैंट शर्ट पाई होंगी ते कोट पाया होंदा ते मैं इस टाइम ऐसा लगना जी मैं जहाज से उतर गया वाल मेरे
I absolutely adore him. He is such a good-natured fella.
इतनी डार्क सूखी ਇੱਥੇ ਲੱਗੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੋਈ ਏ ਫੋਟੋ ਪੂਰਾ ਚਾਰ ਤਸਵੀਰਾਂ ਨਾਲੇ ਹੋਂਠ ਲਾਲ ਹੋਏ ਕੀ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਈਨ ਹੈਗਾ ਮੋਬਾਈਲ 'ਚ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਖੂਬਸੂਰਤ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਤੋਤਾ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਮੇ ਮਿੱਟੂ ਚੋਰੀ ਖਾਣੀ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਖਾਣੀ ना जा चाचा ना मार दे भाई तेरी मेहरबानी है तोता मोटे ते बैठा है उत्ते रब देखी यार ख्याल करी भाई ओहो मियां मियां मिठू आ गया जी फिर भी गल कीती जे एक सुर्खी भी लग गई ऐनक भी है परी भी नहीं जा रही है ना हिल भी रही है मैजिक कमाल करती यार क्या बात चश्मा चेंज हो गया था
Shere Khan, this guy, he is very chill. He always is.
मैं जो सब कुछ कैसा आ गया हेलो ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਉਤੋਂ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ ਬਣਾਤਾ ਥੱਲੇ ਸਰਦਾਰੀ ਬਣਾਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਤੋਂ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਲੜਕਾਣੇ ਆਇਆ ਵਾਹ ਜੀ ਵਾਹ ਤਾਂ ਪਲੀਆ ਦਾ ਬੁੱਢੀ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਬੁੱਢੀ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਜਨਾਬ ਵੈਰੀ ਗੁੱਡ ਦੁਬਈ أهلا وسهلا مرحبا مرحبا
Rana is feeling himself in this. This is so funny.
يا بيبي هيا هيا قولي لا تتقلى فيا يا بيبي هيا هيا ठीक है क्या ये मुझका ये है फूल है गुलाब का खुशबू तो लीजिए दिल है ना चीज का इसे पसंद तो कीजिए वाह वाह फूल भी लाता है
His mustache is very cultivated. Yeah.
हीरे का जिगर अल्लामा इकबाल का शेर है मैं बड़ा खूबसूरत लग गया मेरे दाढ़ी मुछना ना होंदी मैं तो गया सी गुलाब का फूल खाने से लग गया क्या बात है यार हैं जो मैं आपसे नहीं बोलती आपने मुझे इतना तंग किया हुआ है पुलिस की टोपी पहना के नीचे विग लगा दी मेरे तेरा पलाई है वाली बड़े लम्बे हो गए काली कैप ये तो वैसे नहीं तो अजरक पाई हुई है बड़ी गल है सुर्खी फिर लगी अच्छा मैंने कहना सुर्खी आ गई नहीं कहना लग जाती है थनून लग गई पता नहीं की चक्कर की चला रहे हो मेरे ना जादू
शहर क्या बड़ी प्यारी लग रही
I absolutely love these guys. They are so cute. Like there's another one where they gave them like joke props and stuff that you can buy off of the internet. One of them they gave them was an ink pen that shocks you. One that's called a fruit bomb where it's got like a little bit of fruity smelling water in it. And when you squeeze it, the package blows up until it explodes and it wets you. They tried invisible ink on them. I mean, it was really cute. A lot of their videos are very, very uplifting. And I love that about them. And God bless them. They went through a time recently where at one point their channel got demonetized and they were all very, very upset because, you know, they don't do anything negative, you know, nothing negative. They are incredibly thankful for all the traffic that they get and all the people talking to them in the comments, and people send them gifts and they tell them, thank you so much. You know, I'm going to pray for you. You've answered my prayers. You know, this is how a lot of these guys make their money, because most of them are farmers or they're craftsmen or something along those lines. And, you know, personally, I don't see anything wrong with what they're doing at all. I mean, they're very good people. You can tell by their behavior, how they interact with each other, you know, just their response to things. These, for Foodie Beauty and Foodie Beauty stands out there, the tribal people, Try Guys that you've seen on the screen, this is what good Muslims look like. They are very hardworking people. They're very thankful for everything that they get. And they embrace life. They embrace the world, you know, and that is the way good Muslims are. Foodie doesn't know a damn thing about it. God love her. I pray that the good Lord, Allah, the giant spaghetti monster in the sky, that somebody strikes some sort of realization into her that she is lost and has been this entire time, no matter what she seems to think. But she's a miserable human being, and it shows. I got to tell y'all, I was doing good until that Kaya thing. Man, that shit took it out of me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Woo! Okay. So while we're here, real quick, because I found this and I thought this was interesting. I found a study online that was done that shows a connective link between the consumption of high processed foods and psychological and mental health developmental problems later on down the line. This was carried out by the Institute of Environmental Science and Technology and, oh Lord, I can't even pronounce that, Garona Biomedical Research, that they analyzed the habits of 500 Spanish adolescent teens, which would be 13 to 18, children for Kaya and the dog shit boyfriend, children, okay, that the purchase of high ultra processed foods and drinks has tripled in Spain in recent decades, with adolescents being the highest number of consumers. The study involved showed that the intake of these foods produced psychosocial difficulties and mental health issues such as lower moods, feelings of anxiety, and attention problems. They attributed an association between these foods and emotional distress and behavioral problems. Hang on, I'm having to skim here. 26.2% of the participants presented with some sort of psychosocial problem. 33.9% related and emotional distress, mainly depression or anxiety. 9.5 related attentional problems. 3.9 related behavioral problems. By gender, girls showed greater psychosocial problems, and all from 26.4%, especially in relation to low mood and feeling of anxiety, except for behavioral problems, which were similar between those of them and the opposite sex. So, I brought that up because, number one, I thought it was incredibly interesting because, you know, there is a lot of overproduction and processing in relation to food, but talking specific to our girls here, to our ALR, to our foodie, look at what their diet has been predominantly built up of. Ultra processed foods. Foodie specifically touted the fact that her diet has been nothing but ultra processed since she was a child. Isn't that interesting? Oh, well, okay. The kitty romance has basically not gone anywhere. Little Mama is actually out on the porch with Boo Man because, like I said, that's her man. That's her fella. Her loves her some Boo Man. I have been what I have been doing is I have been bringing Boo and Little Mama in the house. And closing the glass door between the house and the porch. And I've been letting Romeo onto the porch so that they can see each other. I mean, there's a door that goes from the porch to the outside, and they will sit at the door and they'll smell each other. And they'll, you know, Boo will hiss at Romeo and Romeo will just meow back. But there's not a whole lot of interaction going on face to face. So what I've done is I'll close that door with them inside. I'll let Romeo come in. He'll wander around. He'll lay down. He'll let me rub on him and all that great and wonderful stuff. He'll come up to the door. Boo Man is obviously right at the door. He wants to know what's going on. Boo Man will hiss at him. He'll smack the door. You know, he's very territorial. He's like, this is my house. That my woman. Back the fuck off. So it hasn't gone well thus far. I'm hoping that'll change. And by bringing Romeo in on the porch, it is getting Romeo familiar with Boo's smell, with Little Mama's smell. After a while, I'll let Romeo back outside, and then I'll open the door back up and let Boo and Little Mama back on the porch so that they're getting Romeo's smell and all that stuff. They're getting familiar with, I'm familiarizing them a little bit at the time so that eventually maybe they can coexist. But, you know, that is a step-by-step process. You know, unfortunately, that is just the hierarchy of felines. Little Mama actually did come in for a little bit right before I was on stream and was sitting here setting up tabs and all that stuff. And she came in and did her laps back and forth across the desk. And then she laid down and propped on my arm for a little bit. And, so at this point, you know, she called herself doing her co-pilot duties. She came in and was an emotional support feline for a little bit, but she went back out and she's out on the porch with him because the two of them, they like to hang out on the porch together. They'll curl up and pass out and take a nap. Actually, hang on. Oh, sorry. I was hearing something. I thought I heard her sneeze. Girl, I don't need no love triangle stuff going on, but I will tell you what I did notice amidst that doorway, that glass door interaction. Romeo's on this side, Boo is on this side. Okay, so they're face to face. Boo's telling him about himself. Romeo's just sitting there looking at him like, who are you? Want to be friends? And in the meantime, while these two are up against each other at the door, Little Mama is back here she stays like a good 2-3 feet away from the door. She's like, I don't want to be up in this. This ain't got nothing to do with none of that. My name is Dennett and I ain't in it. She's like, I'm not interested. That's y'all's problem, not mine. Right. It is. And I mean, my two, they're very sociable with each other. They've been together for quite a while. Boo Man has been familiarized with other cats because I've had other cats since I've had him. Little Mama didn't come into the picture until just a couple of years ago. But that's his girl. He don't want nobody but her. The only girl that means more to him is me, and I don't mind that because I love him. He's my little man. I love him so much. But yeah. Right. She's just like watching from the tower going, just another day, I'm hoping eventually at some point they can be friends, and actually spend time together because, I mean, and I'll go out there and I'll sit and like I said, I'll open the door and I'll stick my hand out and I'll rub Romeo's head and stuff. And Boo will have his temper tantrum. And I've sat there, I've closed the door and I've sat there and I've told them both more than once. I'm like, he's not going to hurt you. He's not going to hurt me. Romeo needs a friend. He doesn't have a mama to look out for him like y'all do. Y'all don't understand. He needs somebody to look out for him just like you do. He's not going to take me away. I'm not going anywhere. But the animals, I think, are really more complicated than we give them credit for. And it's simply because, there's not really a lot of study into cats. I mean, there's been more frequently like more recent studies on them. But, I think they're much more complex than we give them credit for, and I think eventually there's going to come a point where we will be able to communicate with them, which I think is amazing. And I'm actually kind of looking forward to it because I would really love to know what they think of me and what they think of, how we live and stuff like that, because I do everything that I can to try to make sure they have all everything that they need, and I try to relay to them that I care all the time, because they need to know that they're loved. Yes, they are. And that's the thing. And they get kind of a bad rap because people automatically assume that they're assholes when, they're just very... Oh, hang on. There was a comedian that actually did a whole deal on why. All right, hang on. Let me show this to you because this is incredibly accurate. I laughed when I saw this because I was like, absolutely.
I'm home. I just hang out at the house. I hang out with my cat. I got a cat named Jessica. All right, thank you. I'm a cat person. Are there any other cat people out there? Yeah, got some cat people here? Nice. I'm guessing the rest of you are dog people. Is that what it is?
A cat, it's a dog relationship versus a cat relationship are very different things, just like they are entities. I mean, dogs, you're their everything. The sun rises and sets on you. You don't have to work for it. Cats, you actually have to develop a relationship with them, a bond, a routine, trust, dogs. I mean, I've seen, as much as I hate to have to admit this, talking about some traumatic shit, working in the shelter, I have seen dogs that have been beaten and mistreated by their owners, but they are still 100% dedicated and loyal and love unconditionally the person that has mistreated them. It's really, really hard to watch. Well, and little mama's like that. She doesn't have me tote her around, thankfully, but she is very lovey. I mean, y'all have seen videos of me where I've been in the bed. I've not gotten up yet. I'm just kind of, me and little mama have a morning routine. She hears me start to shift around And, she gets up long before I do, but she gets in the bed and she climbs up on me and she's like, all right, time for cuddle session. I have to give her belly rubs and talk to her and tell her how she's a good girl and stuff like that, and then after a little while we can get up and go on with our day. She's very much a cuddler. Boo Ming likes to cuddle sometimes, but he's a very independent boy. Yeah, no, God did right by the world when he gave us dogs. Honestly, dogs are very, very pure animals. It's really hard to not see the world. It's really hard to see how they see the world and how they see humans the way that they do when we're such shit sometimes. I'm going to stop it there, but that's 100% relatable. And I'll tell you why. Okay. I've talked to y'all about my mom. My mom was very much an animal lover. Like when I was younger, we had cats, we had dogs, we had fish, we had a house load of animals. And it was that way for the longest time until, as I got older, my mom developed an allergy to cats. I mean, eventually she couldn't have cats in the house at all. She would come over to my house and, she told me at one point, like one of my cats jumped up on the back of the couch and she just took her finger and grazed down the back of the cat. And she was like, okay, well, I'm going to go home. I'll talk to you later. Da, da, da. She got in the car. And from the time frame that she got in the car and she drove home and got in the house, her eyelids were starting to swell up. That's how bad of an allergic reaction she developed to cats. So she ended up having to take some Claritin, take some ibuprofen, and just kind of wait for it to pass. So she went full dog person, obviously, after that. And by accident, one day, a lady that worked with her had a dog that she couldn't keep, and her name was Sadie. And Sadie was a miniature schnauzer. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those. Let's see. Let me find you one that kind of looks like what I'm talking about here. I'm going to share the screen. These are here be miniature schnauzies. They don't get very big. They maybe get as much as maybe 15 pounds or so, but very cute. They have a lot of health problems, though, unfortunately, because, they're purebred dogs. But so she got this one dog, and after that little dog loved the hell out of her. She loved the hell out of that little dog. That dog was her everything. And from there, yeah, they do kind of. Well, you have like your miniature schnauzers, and then you have actual Scotties. Scotties tend to be all one color, whereas Schnauzies are kind of multiple. For the most part, they're multiple colors. They're salt and peppers, kind of like this baby. Then, and of course they come in all different shades. You've got your black and whites. You've got your all whites. See, they're very all over the place. This one actually looks like my mom's last dog that she had. Well, actually, he's still alive. Yeah, they're genetics, not my area, but they're cute though. But, my mom had this little dog, Sadie, until Sadie passed away. And Sadie was very old when she passed away. And what ended up happening is, my mom was like, I want another schnauzer. They're such good dogs, whatever. And she went online and there are particular rescues that are specific to breed. You can find there's schnauzer rescues, miniature schnauzers or schnauzers as a whole, because you've got three different sizes. You've got your little teacups that are under 7 pounds, 7 to 10 for your toys, 11 to 18 for your minis. And then you've got your standard schnauzies, which are super big dogs. Schnauzer groups have them in all different shapes, sizes, colors, you name it. But she found one here in Florida, and you have to do the whole application process. They have to check your background. They have to come and look at your house. They have to check your property, make sure that you're going to be safe to have the animal, all that great and wonderful stuff. She went through the process. They came and looked at at their place, and the person that did their screening actually said, wow, this is really beautiful place. Because my parents, they live in the middle of the woods. They've got 5 acres, nice house. And the guy that came out and said, would you like to adopt me? And after that, from there forward, she was approved. And from there, I think, okay, she got, Lord have mercy, she's had so many. Now, mind you, schnauzers don't live very, very long, like very, very, very long, because of the built-in genetic health problems. God, I'm trying to think of which one she got, but they contacted her. They would send her emails and say, here's what we've got. Tell us if you want any. And they would send her periodic emails, but she would always generally get them in pairs. She had a pair of siblings, Timmy and Tammy, and they both had problems. Their tumors and heart issues tend to run frequent in schnauzers. She took care of them. I mean, she was a nurse practitioner, so they would get sick, and she was starting, subcutaneous, like pinch the skin, start an IV, put an IV under the skin and give them fluids. She would give them nausea medications. She took them back and forth to the vet. I mean, she fed them well. She took really good care of her dogs. But Tammy died, and then she reached out to, she reached back out to them and said, hey, do you have I'm looking for another dog, after some time, obviously. And then they sent her this email and they said, oh, okay, well, here we have these, here's what we've got. And they actually asked her, we have this one dog. He's an older dog. We're pretty sure he's blind, he's deaf, and he's mute, because we've never heard him bark. We know, you can talk to him and he doesn't really acknowledge that you're there. But we know for sure that he's blind because he's got cataracts and whatever else. And, God bless her. She ended up adopting him, and she adopted, God, what was that other dog's name? She adopted a young one, and then she adopted him. The one with the vision that couldn't see, his name was Jasper. Jasper was a very, very sweet fella. But I'm going to tell you, it was a sight to watch him, because when they went and picked him up and they brought both of them home, it was adorable, but I felt so bad for the poor fella. She set him down, and he walked and walked and walked until he bumped his nose into something. And then he turned and started riding down. He rubbed his body down the piece of furniture. It was a desk. He rubbed his body down the side of the piece of furniture until he met the end of it. And then he turned and rode the side of it until he bumped into something else. What he was doing is he was mapping the room. He was figuring out where the boundaries of the room were. He was mapping it out in his head where these obstacles were. And once he did that, and he had a good, solid mental picture of the room, he moved to another room, and then another room. And eventually he had the whole house mapped. And eventually he got to the point where the whole yard was mapped. So, my folks always parked in the same places. Stuff didn't move around a lot. But yes, he was very much getting acquainted. He was figuring it out. So the fact that he couldn't see didn't offer him any limitations at all. And actually, once he was there long enough that he was good and comfortable and familiar, he would run wide open through the house and not hit a thing. He would run wide open through the yard and not hit nothing. Him being an older dog and him not being able to see didn't stop him from having joy and being a dog and having fun and living his life. He was very smart little boy, and he was so sweet. So sweet. The young one that she got with him, his name was Oscar. And that was my dad's dog. He fell in love with my dad. Everywhere my dad went, the dog went. And it hurt my heart it hurt my dad's heart when he passed. And then after Jasper passed away, my mom got ended up with 2 more little dogs because she got one more. Okay. It's complicated. Timmy and Tammy, Jasper and Oscar. Okay. Then Jasper passed away. Okay. Then mom got a little dog named Gypsy. Gypsy hated my guts. Never did anything to her. My mom said that she's like, she's just nervous. You must remind her of somebody. That little dog, I could not turn my back on her because she would run up behind me and bite me on the back of the leg. She would never do anything if I was pointed toward her. But if I turned to walk away to do anything, it was on. She hated my guts. I don't know why. I was never mean to her. Would always be trying to win her over, but it never worked. Then Oscar passed away. And after some time, they got one more, and his name was Bo. And Bo is the one that's still alive now. He lives with my dad, along with my dad's dog, Ranger. Ranger is a yellow lab. I don't know if y'all are familiar with those. And he is the sweetest boy ever, ever, ever. I absolutely love me some of Ranger. Ranger is the goodest boy ever on the planet. Big old chuckle-headed fella, but he is absolutely the sweetest boy. So right now, my dad has this yellow lab, and he's got Bo, little miniature schnauzy dude. And then some dog, whatever dog that the new wife brought in. Apparently she's some little dog, which he hasn't told me too much about. He doesn't really talk to me too much about the wife, which is absolutely 100% fine with me because, I still feel kind of a way about that. I just, way I figure it, if he's happy, that's fine. But, I don't really have any interest in getting to know her or getting to know her dog or, I deal with her when I have to deal with her because she's not my family. She won't ever be. She can be the nicest person in the world, but that's just how I feel about it, So yeah, that's where we're at. But him talking about the special needs kitty cat brought up me talking about Jasper, and Jasper was very much considered special needs. The other thing too, them saying we think that he's blind, deaf, and mute. He was blind. He could hear, but not great. And he was not mute. It just took the right set of circumstances. Once he got into the house with these other schnauzers, schnauzers are very much barkers. They love to bark. They're very talkative. Once he got into the house with them and they barked, he started barking too. So, he was just he was being chill with the rescue folks, I guess. So, all right, we have covered all the psychotic behavior today. We have talked on all of our clown world foolishness. Do y'all got anything y'all want to talk about while we're here? There's still plenty. It's still early. For me anyway, maybe not for y'all because I know a lot of y'all are daytime, normal living hours. But me, I'm up because I have to work tomorrow night and I don't want to throw my schedule off until after when I know I have a few days off. So y'all want to cover anything? Y'all want to talk about anything? Y'all have any questions y'all want me to answer? Because I have no problem doing any of that. I'm going to be honest with you, Abby. The fact that your Chihuahua is 15 years old says a lot about you and how well you have taken care of that baby, because most little dogs like that, especially purebred dogs, don't live to be that old. So shout out to you for being so good to your fur baby, Well, you didn't, I don't think you missed a terrible, terrible lot of it, but it was I hit on Becky, I hit on Foodie, I hit on ALR, and I think it was right about that time frame early into the Kaya thing when you came on. Yes, ma'am. I talked some. I did a review on this last video that she put up because there seems to be a lot of dishonesty on her part. Still, I mean, oh yeah. See, then you've taken really good care of her if you've had her 12 years. Use a good pet mama. Bless your heart. All right, you have a good night. Give a squeeze to your granddaughter for us. Hope you sleep well. Catch up with you soon. I guess I'm going to probably tap out too. I mean, we've been at it 3 hours, you know. And I don't want to keep y'all. Like I said, I know a lot of y'all are daytime people, and, you know, I don't want to be at fault for ruining your sleep patterns and everything. So, all right, I guess what I'm going to do, I'm going to spend the rest of my night working on some projects because I've got to renew my ACLS certification, which won't take me but maybe 10 minutes. I'm doing some new certification classes and stuff to add, you know, help add to my resume, to expand my knowledge base and all that great and wonderful stuff. And, you know, and then of course I'm going to do some cooking and cleaning because, you know, that's part of life that don't ever stop, unfortunately. And I got to have something to eat because I have not ate yet today. All I have had is protein coffee and this soda that you guys have watched me work on. And maybe that's why I did not react quite as favorably as I would have liked to. Maybe I'm a little hangry. You know, never know. Okay, see, then that's the fact that she's in good health, and that's all. I mean, arthritis is not uncommon in dogs as they get older, just like with humans, you know. So, you know, bless your heart. I mean, we had to do that with all of my mom's stuff too. We built a ramp to go down the stairs, put a ramp beside the bed, like little steps beside the bed so they could get up and down out of the bed. My whole family, we are very much animal folks. We love our animals. We take good care of them because, you know, that's the least we can do. That's part of having them is we care for them just like we would our kids because they are a part of the family, you know, even though they are technically property. You know, I actually heard it said that there's an entirely different definition for Hawaiian natives, that the term is not owner, but I believe the term is called kana, and kana means that you are their protector. You're their protector. You're their guardian. You're their you're their special person. That you are their. I'm trying to think of another way to word it because there were various ways that it was worded, that you are not their owner because they are their own individual soul and personality, but you are their person, you know, that the animals are not property, that they are part of you, you know. So I thought that was really interesting, and I thought that was a really great fit, you know. So I'm going to go. I'm going to let you guys go on about your night. Y'all get some sleep. No, I think mine on me, but that's just me. I tell people, this is their house. I just live in them with it. I just live in it with them, you know. All right. So hope y'all have a good night. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. For those of y'all on the replay gang side of things, I'm sorry I lost my cool. I just couldn't help myself. You know, I imagine a lot of people kind of feel the same kind of way, but you know, it's not really normal for me to get that heated. But you know, we're all human, right? You know, so hopefully I'll catch some of you guys on the next go round. I'm hoping it won't be too terrible long. I have some days off coming up, so I'm hoping that I'll have some regularly scheduled video versus live, and we'll play it on from there, okay? Hope you guys have a good night. You guys have a good weekend. I'll catch up with you soon. Bye, y'all.